You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
I just appreciate the support that I've had throughout this process, from Coach EJ, Coach Benning, Coach Rule, the rest of the staff, like Dr. Elza and stuff. And, I'm committed to growing from this.
Really harping on my technical stuff, working with Coach EJ and just talking with Coach Dana, seeing what they think I can do better, like technically coming from high school to college, because it's more technical. I mean, I think I have naturally gifted ability, but it's whenever you get to college, it's like the little things that matter.
This is like football family with Coach Rule. I work for him at Temple. Coach Sad, Coach Snow, Coach Foley. So just a lot of familiar faces there. I consider those guys part of my football family. And then just a chance to come to a historic place like Nebraska was also huge for me and my family.
Good morning. Welcome in Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Mail Medical. That's Austin. I'm Ravi here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. What's up, Austin?
Just an enlightening discussion between three men this morning.
Yes, we were talking about Kearney and Nebraska Furniture Mart
and
Amon Green.
Rico, what did you bring up? Okay, good talk,
Rico. Good talk, Rico.
Yep. We're off to a roaring start today. Let's go.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Shane.
What's up, Shane? How we doing?
Sorry, I was still joining the StreamYard.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
You didn't
want to talk with us?
You couldn't hear?
I faintly heard you say my name. I have no idea what you asked.
Okay, we were just asking what you brought to the discussion this morning.
Absolutely nothing. Is that what you want me to say? You want me to say I'm not working? Is that what you want?
No, that wasn't it.
Sit here
that wasn't it. We were talking about the discussion we were having before the show started.
Is that what you guys want?
Kids, don't fight. It's okay.
Sorry.
Kids, don't fight.
I just wanted you to bring up what you were talking about before the show started. That's all that we wanted.
He's wearing a Loper's hat today. I'm surprised you aren't feeling a lot of love.
No, I feel love. He brought the hostility right away. I wanted to include him in the conversation. Let the record show. I wanted to be friends.
I have to make your Big 12 graphics, and now you're trying to include me in the discussion.
What's wrong with that?
I'm trying to work. Is what's wrong with that.
Fair. How disappointed were you on that Hurrdat Sports video when it released with all the incorrect?
I didn't know it was that bad.
We truly put out our worst. That was a bad look.
I only missed one.
Which one?
I missed Wayne State because I didn't know about the new logo.
What does the old logo look like?
It was just like the paw with WSC.
Oh, that's right. Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And even if he had blurred the letters, I would have gotten the paw right. Yeah. I just didn't connect that there was.
I think the new Wildcat's 5 years old. It's not.
Yeah, I was going to say I didn't even recognize that. So that must have been past my time that they've changed that then, right?
Yeah,
because I feel like
I
it's
only
been
know
the
because my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law went there, and then one of my other sister-in-law's friends went there when they had changed the logo.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, I did. I got every other one right, which I was very proud of. Now I do have a distinct advantage that I've played a lot of those schools while coaching.
Naturally, NAI.
Yeah, so Peru. I'm surprised nobody threw York in there.
Yeah, York College would have been good.
York would have been. We got Concordia. We had Doane. I was all over those.
I think they stuck to
Midland was in there.
Schools that have football programs.
They did.
So I think that's what the idea was. But yeah.
No, it was embarrassing for a lot of our coworkers.
That was tough. Well, also to throw Evan in there, our newest videographer who's not from Nebraska, that was kind of mean. That was tough.
I mean, he's got. I don't know how he got.
Some way.
I don't know how he got the job without being able to pass that test in the first place.
That should be. We should start posting some of our job forms that way. Can you name? Are you a bot? And then can you name these schools?
If we had to do that, we would have a lot less people working here.
Hot Danger, not a fan of Doane. What happened?
Ooh, Doane. Don't hate.
Hot Danger. What?
Interesting.
Do you have a rival?
He must be a Hastings College guy.
Hastings was on there.
Yes.
We played Hastings.
Must be Hastings College guy. That's my assumption. Are Doane and Concordia big rivals?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the rivalries are there.
I know Hastings and Doane don't like each other too much. I'm not familiar with where Concordia's rivalries are.
I think Doane, Concordia, Midland all have a healthy rivalry. I don't know if it's.
I think Concordia Midland is the rivalry. And then maybe just because they're all the Nebraska schools, they all disdain each other. That's probably
Hastings
somewhere in there.
In there?
Yeah.
Hastings is
Hastings
GPAC,
and
right?
Yeah, Hastings and Doane are GPAC. Yeah.
Okay. The one that's not that we think should be is Bellevue. Bellevue's the outlier.
Bellevue just hangs out. Bellevue's just kind of there.
I believe they're North Star, aren't they?
Oh, I wouldn't know off the top of my head. I'm GPAC ride or die.
I believe they're North Star Conference.
You know what's very odd, and this hit me yesterday as I was looking at getting ready for
TK
UNK.
says Hastings hates Stones. His brothers went there,
see,
so there we go. Yeah.
Getting ready for UNK Wayne State Thursday night, Ron and Carroll Cove Stadium, 6:00 kickoff.
Nice.
From Kearney, Nebraska. All 3 Division II schools. I've known this, but it's just so wild that all 3 Division II football programs are in different conferences in this state. Because Wayne State's in the NSIC, Shadron's in the RMAC, and UNK's in the MIAA.
That is weird.
Yeah.
Never thought about it.
Isn't that odd?
UNK used to be in the RMAC.
Used to be.
Join
Thank
the
God
MIAA.
Omaha left, so that way they could get in the MIAA.
Join the MIAA my first year. I was very sad.
Wow. Austin Pro Omaha getting rid of football.
I
Wow.
am.
You're
Shout out the MIAA.
You're probably like F them wrestlers too, huh?
Listen, if the MIAA really wanted to keep Omaha, they would have fought a little bit harder. But they were like, you know
Honestly,
what, Mavs, why don't you move on? Let's get a real program like the Lopers in here.
Big Trev Alberts guy over here.
Listen, that man is, forward thinking. He's always 2 steps ahead.
I liked the MIAA. It was great. A lot of Kansas, Missouri trips, coupled down to Oklahoma, but the RMAC would have been so much more fun. The guys on the track team would tell me about all their late night trips through the mountains to the Colorado schools and driving on buses down to like Arizona.
Well, I think there was one, the furthest is in Durango, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, geez. That's a long trip.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
Durango.
And that was also when Loper Baseball was still around. RIP Loper Baseball.
But the football team ran the RMAC. Like they were just crushing people. Then
that was actually
the MIAA, and it was not good.
One of my favorite bits at UNK was when they shut down the baseball program, was to open like a closet and be like, "Oh, is the baseball team in here?"
That's not nice. It's not nice at all.
Anytime you'd see like a storage facility, that's where the baseball team is.
Why would you do that?
Although it was very cool
because sometimes Damon Day would be there.
No, well, Damon Day was hanging around.
That's what I mean.
Damon Day rocks. Okay,
you just open a door and be like, "Oh, there's the baseball team.
There's Damon Day.
It's
yeah,
Damon
he's just
Day.
hanging out." It was very funny when Coach Day would be teaching other classes like sports officiating and stuff. He'd be like, "Well, if you don't know who I am, you signed up for this class. I get it. It's 1 credit. You needed to fill your hours. I understand. If you don't know me, I'm the baseball coach. They got rid of my program. They still have to pay me." I loved it. I thought Coach Day rocked. It was
incredible.
fantastic. Yeah,
that's incredible. I love it. That's great for Coach Day. Honestly, I loved talking to him this spring when Scott won the state title.
Yeah,
it was a lovely interview.
We should. Well, if we ever need Notre Dame, apparently he said to call him back. So
that's right.
Yeah, he's a big Notre Dame guy.
Notre Dame guy.
Yeah. Is he our Notre Dame? Do we trust him or Big Arch more for our Notre Dame beat reporting?
Definitely Damon Day. Big
you
Arch
think so?
Yeah, Big Arch is not trustworthy.
You don't think Big Arch is trustworthy?
No.
Why is that?
I don't know. I see him in
You don't trust our latest intern from Hurrdat Sports?
I see him in the group chat, and I was like, that kid's a loose cannon. I don't know what's
you
going on.
You think he's a
there.
loose cannon?
Yeah.
I don't think so. He's pretty prim and proper.
Yeah. David
Big Arch is buttoned up.
Yeah, David, Brandon, and I have a group chat with.
So this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the latest intern where we convinced him to just send us beers every time he drinks. He just sends us photos of the beers he's drinking, which is incredible.
Yeah, and then he also is like, you give him suggestions. And he's like, yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, that is fair. Because Brandon,
that's my fault.
Brandon said, "I'll Venmo you for what, a 3 Wiseman shot,
4 horsemen
or 4 horsemen." There we go.
Yeah,
bad.
That's what I'm saying. And he was just like, yeah, sure.
What's the worst shot you've ever taken?
Cement mixer.
Cement mixer?
Yeah, horrible.
I don't like a prairie fire. Prairie fire is no fun.
Oh, yeah, I don't like Tabasco.
Yeah.
So
also, who keeps Tabasco on hand at a bar? What do we need that for?
I don't know.
Is it specifically for that?
I don't know. I don't know. Because if you don't have food, I've never really thought about it.
Yeah.
That's a terrible idea.
Because I've been to many bars in Kearney do not serve food and they have Tabasco on hand. Is it just specifically for prairie fires, or are there other drinks you need Tabasco for? I guess.
Is there like Bloody Marys?
Yeah. Is there Tabasco and Bloody Marys? That's exactly where I thought.
I don't do Bloody Marys, so I'm not sure.
It
probably depends on the Bloody Mary.
I'm also not drinking Bloody Marys at 9 o'clock at night. That's a morning thing.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not drinking Bloody Marys at all.
What's the latest someone could have a Bloody Mary that you're starting to question them?
Noon. It's got to be.
Oh, really?
It's got to be in the AM.
Oh, whoa.
Not
Not even like a 2 o'clock?
Nah.
I feel like my cutoff's like 1 or 1:30.
Nah, it's an AM thing. Honestly, by noon, I'm starting to question it.
Mimosas?
Mimosas, I like mimosas. I think again noon. That's a morning drink, unless you're at like a mimosas. I feel like if you're at some sort of like party or soiree,
Yes,
like an upscale type thing, then I think mimosas have a little bit longer shelf life.
That's fair.
But early afternoon is still a hard cutoff there.
Right.
I don't like Bloody Marys, so that's
I don't either.
part of
Not for
my
me, yeah.
that's part of my thing there. Screwdrivers, I will say, I've got a little bit more leeway for screwdrivers.
Screwdrivers are good at all times.
They're
today.
so good.
Yeah. I'm with you.
And honestly, I think they keep me from getting hungover. I think the vitamins from the orange juice help with the hangover.
That was a great. I'm one of my favorite bits in college was me and my friend Jarrett. It was old school night, Tuesday nights.
Yeah.
And you would pay $5 to get in for a cover, and the drinks were what, Rico, like $2, $1.50 or something like that. They were fantastic.
Yeah.
We'd
They were
order
extremely
two.
cheap, and it was a problem.
You'd either get screwdrivers or we would get cranberry vodkas. We'd order them and then be like, "Oh, it's for our girlfriend upstairs." We'd take them.
We don't have girlfriends.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Joke's on us, I guess.
Sorry, they're delicious drinks. Listen, I know that this is going to get hate. I know Kobe's going to call me a bum, and he's going to use different words that are offensive, and he's going to Google what this means in Urban Dictionary. But a cranberry vodka with lime, it's an elite drink.
Vodka cranberries are good, man.
It's very good. It's a good drink.
I don't know what to tell you. I thought you were going to go with the. There's like this point in your life where you convince yourself that drinking certain things doesn't give you a hangover. So
no drinking cranberry vodka does not give me a hangover.
So
nor does Busch Light.
I gave you my screwdriver theory.
Mhm.
I also went through a phase where I was like, okay, if I drink Red Bull vodkas, because it's like it balances them out. You got the upper and the downer.
No.
And Red Bull has some vitamins in it.
No.
I was like, that doesn't give me a hangover.
No, wrong.
And that only
Completely
works. That only works for a certain amount of time. Turns out, if you drink too much of anything, you will get a hangover.
On a bachelor
There
party.
is no magic formula.
A couple of years ago, they didn't have Red Bull. But
That
had,
might work.
What?
See, TK's on my page. They're mixing vodka with Powerade.
I have done this. This is nice.
That might work.
I do like that. Yes. And also, Eric, I'm not a fan of tequila sunrises. Tequila in the morning is not for me. I'm not a fan of that.
I don't mind it. I will usually go with a vodka though. We do have a couple worse shots. Hot Danger says bitter taste of defeat. You get a beer glass rimmed with salt, half full of the most old man beer on tap. Drop a shot of 50% gin, 50% tequila in the beer. Chuck. That doesn't sound pleasant. That doesn't sound awful. It doesn't sound like Cement Mixer is like actively trying to be bad.
Well, most of them are. Prairie Fires, Cement Mixers, Three Wise Men, Four Horsemen. I've never heard of Four Horsemen. That's news to me. That's news to me.
It's basically a Three Wise Men. You add another one in there, and I don't remember what it is.
Oh, Juan, that's a UNK classic.
Ken says
you do Tequila Mio, where you just
It's the J whiskeys.
The J whiskeys
is a four horsemen.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yes, okay.
So
Thank you, Shane.
That thing.
I
more
just
you know.
Googled it.
Thank you.
It would have been okay if you knew it off the top of your head. We wouldn't have judged.
Yeah,
it's all right. We all had misspent use.
That's fair.
Ken says we're shot flaming blue Jesus. I don't know what that is.
The flaming blue. Okay,
He
hold
says
on, I'm
a
gonna
buddy of
Google
mine
this.
caught his beard on fire with that one. The stash and beard never grew back.
The Flaming Blue Jesus shot is a high-proof, fiery layered shot made with a base of mixed liquors and topped with 151 proof rum that is lit on fire before serving.
Oh, Bacardi 151 is diabolical.
So, I mean, that's.
But again,
is that illegal to consume fire, like to serve?
No,
fire.
They serve flaming drinks places.
That's
They
weird.
do vapor shots in Lincoln.
Yeah, but vapor shots. I almost said something. Vapor shots are dumb. I don't like vapor shots.
I know what you were going to say. Funky says vodka cranberry with pineapple juice is pretty damn good. Ken says if you're not getting a hangover, you're not drinking enough.
I saw that, Ken. Yeah,
Ken,
that's fair. Okay, you know what? That's fair. That's fair.
I'm trying to avoid the hangover.
I do. I have a responsibility in my own life that if I'm going to drink, I'm not just going to be one of those people that has a beer at dinner. If I'm going to drink, I want to drink.
Yeah,
I'm not just
you're
doing
not
this
just like
one-off.
I have a glass of wine at dinner.
Yeah, right.
Hot Danger says the end result of this doesn't give me a hangover game. It's just sobriety. No, not for me.
Have you ever had the Caribou Lou? It's not a shot. It's a drink. It's from the Tech Nine song.
No, I have not.
This might be, depending on what the bar lets us do, this might be my signature drink.
Mustache Adam says if you like cranberry vodkas, try Transfusion if you haven't had one. I think we had those at the Pinnacle Bank Championship. I think they had
What were they?
Transfusions.
Yes, they did.
Those are quality.
Yeah. Remember that's what Sauter was having while he was hooked up to an IV.
Oh yeah, he was having a transfusion while having a transfusion.
Yeah, very fun.
It's very meta of him.
Yeah. Very big.
I appreciate that.
Caribou Lou is 151 proof rum, Malibu coconut rum, pineapple juice, and then you serve over ice.
Yeah, that sounds terrific.
It's delicious.
Yeah, that sounds
it's incredible.
incredible.
Yes.
I don't know if it sounds as good as a goose on the loose, but that sounds pretty good.
I used to make those in batches at the trailer park.
A geese
Not the
on a
Jed
lease?
York trailer park. This is a different trailer park.
You're Jed York in it?
I was not Yorking it. I was not Yorking it. And East Lawn Trailer Park. Let's be clear. I tweeted that. I said East Lawn Trailer Park has never had an NFL owner arrested on its premises.
That you know of.
Listen.
There would have been a
owners-
statue at
There,
East Lawn.
100%. Did you see that the trailer park owner
Yeah.
where Jed York got arrested, they came out and said, just so you know, he was arrested like driving through the trailer park. The sting operation did not happen at the trailer park. Very big distinction, apparently.
Well, I mean, listen, good for them. They're like, hey, that kind of activity not acceptable here. I don't know where he was, that he just happened to be driving through a trailer park. Maybe it's a bad part of Cleveland there. I don't know.
That has to be a very telling part. If the local police department is doing sting operations in your vicinity, in where you choose to call home, that's not a good look for you. That
but it
means
wasn't
that
in your trailer park.
that is true.
Trailer park
It's
is safe. Around the trailer park is
Mhm.
dangerous.
I love that when people say that. They're like, oh, no, it's not a bad part of town. It's like, you don't want to go too far away from that part. Like when I went to St. Louis a couple weeks ago, my buddy went to law school down there.
Mhm.
And so I was asking him, I was like, hey, is this part okay? Like, should I stay near the facility here or should I like stay further away? And he's like, no, that part's okay. He's like, just don't go like 3 blocks in any direction. And I was like,
perfect.
oh, good. That's terrific.
Very nice.
I
I
love
like
hearing that.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Turns out I shouldn't have gone like 2 blocks in any direction. 3 might have
Did you
been.
learn that?
There was a stretch where I was like, oh, this doesn't seem great. I'm
Mhm.
glad it's daylight.
Mm.
It was a little dicey there.
Sorry to hear that.
That's okay. We were all right.
Never want to go to the north side of Sydney. You go
Derek's-
onto the tracks, it's over.
Derek said they don't make 151 anymore.
What?
Is that correct?
That can't be right.
Bacardi killed their
Do they
151?
Still make? Oh, look at that. Do they still make 151 rum? That's like the first Google.
That's I
Uh-oh.
don't know what your algorithm is.
No,
but that's-
Bacardi no longer makes its famous Bacardi 151 rum, having permanently discontinued production in 2016.
Good Lord. That's
2016?
a decade ago.
I feel like I was buying it not too long ago.
well,
Well, 2016 was a decade. Damn.
yeah, but you weren't 21. So you weren't buying it.
I wasn't buying it.
Surely.
No.
Surely.
I was Jed York in it.
Is there that actually probably checks out.
Can we start making I don't know if we want to
You
make
gotta
that a
stop
verb.
saying that because
You know, what?
Why?
I don't
why?
know.
You don't want to York it in the trailer park?
I just keep thinking of like J, just
I
like
don't-
his
I don't-
initials, just J York, and then I'm just like, oh, he was Jorking in the trailer park.
No, he was Jed York in it. Come on now.
I don't know. I think we should keep doing it.
But it
Mustache
means
Adam. Austin
it's
got
such a
that
bad
T-Moo.
thing.
151.
Is there another company that makes 151 rum?
I must have just been using like regular old Bacardi. That's
Does
fine.
anyone
Mustache, it's
make
fine. We got the joke the
151
first time.
rum?
Ooh, Juan's going to Scottsbluff tomorrow. On his way there, he's going to stop by Sydney. He's going to let out a fart or spit on the ground as a sign of disrespect just to spite me. Juan, that's funny if you want to fart in Sydney, because if you just go back up to Scottsbluff, it'll smell exactly the same. So it's not not any different.
He's trying to make it feel more like home.
Yeah.
I've
Bother me.
I've never been to any of these.
One of the most
places.
disrespectful things that's ever happened in my entire lifetime was not that this, or maybe it. Do you know the name Drew Cuxhausen?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
Scottsbluff basketball
player?
player. Yeah, went to I think Murray State after a while.
Yeah, so he was at I think Western Nebraska Community
WNCC,
College,
yep.
and then I think he McNeese State.
Yeah,
I think.
McNeese. That's right.
State,
Yes.
yeah.
So during my senior year, I can't remember if we were in the same class or not, but
Mhm.
we traditionally you'd play one game on the road, one game at home against the district rivals, especially when both teams were in Class B.
Yeah.
But we had lost to Scottsbluff on the road. They were coming to Sydney, and it was essentially for the district title, like to host districts for that year. And as they were driving down, this was in the early age of Twitter, and he tweeted, "Man, this town stinks." Like as they pulled into Sydney. And we very quickly printed it out, had it like up and ready.
Did you win?
Yes. we
Did you?
Yep.
Look at you.
Trent Harris for Scottsbluff had a steal with a second to go and missed the game-winning layup as time expired.
Oh.
Wide open lane and just right off the front rim.
Oh man. Drew was a hell of a shooter. That dude was
Drew was crazy.
Great basketball player.
Oh God, I have nightmares of Drew Cuxhausen. I did reminisce. We've reconciled recently.
Yeah, cool.
Because over state basketball, I think I tweeted something about like Western Nebraska Panhandle, something like that. And Drew tweeted something at Jacob Padilla, and Padilla replied to me tagging Drew, and just said something along the lines of like, "You guys should like be friends now."
Like the handshake meme.
Yeah. Or no, I think it was something like. I think it was before then. I think Drew tweeted something about like, I may be in Europe right now, but I'm still watching Scottsbluff Gearing to make sure that we put belt to ass on those boys or whatever. And so then I think Jacob then tagged me in that. And I said, Drew, I think we're friends again. We're all good.
Everybody hates Gearing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's just Gearing is just basically in a locker eating glue. That's basically what they do. Them in Alliance.
TK says it's wild to me that Jed York was dumb enough to get caught. It's not wild to me.
Listen, when it's 3 a.m. and you just want to York it, like that's you know
3 a.m. I must be Yorking.
Bartender, I started Yorking it now.
You have to stop.
Brandon, executive decision. This podcast episode will be titled "Yorking It."
I was literally just going to ask, can I name the segment that?
Put Jed in front of it just for safety.
Nope. Leave it.
Put Jed Yorkin York apostrophe or dash ing.
Jed Yorking.
Yeah, I think that just for safety purposes.
In case Bill decides to go back and watch this episode.
TK says getting a PJ and go to listen. I mean, we're having the same conversation about like Robert Kraft not that long ago, right? Like this, like these guys are not bright sometimes when they're doing their stupid stuff like this. Like just because they're rich.
Now, here's the biggest question though: is that he was caught in an illegal like act, right?
Yeah,
but he is already out on bail, correct?
Yeah, he posted bail.
So what will the NFL owners choose to do? Because obviously Kraft is still in, and he was nearly implicated, but then it was taken off, if I remember right.
There was some sort of settlement, I believe. I don't know.
Was it a civil settlement?
I don't know. I think also these are misdemeanors, so that matters too. I don't think the NFL is going to do anything.
Unless the owners don't want him.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if they do anything though.
But the owners don't do any. They don't get rid of any of their
not in the NFL.
Bad people.
This is not the NBA where they're. But also the NBA's got a whole other problem with owners because their valuations have gotten so high that just like normal billionaires can't purchase them anymore.
Hot danger. The town halfway between Grand Island and Lincoln, constantly Yorking it.
It's fair.
Can someone make the Photoshop of Jed York on the York Water Tower? That's tough. This has been a tough week of news for York.
Yeah, not great. Not ideal for York. You know, they're like, hey, I just want to be clear, not us. That was not.
No, not us.
No relation.
Trailer parks, York, Nebraska, 49ers in that order. This has been the worst week for them. Trailer parks are always getting a bad rap. They're not as bad as they seem. Like you talk about bad sides of town and all that stuff. Everybody's afraid of a trailer park. They're really nice places.
I think it depends on. The trailer park.
I also don't know where are the trailer parks in Omaha.
I know of where one is, and it's kind of odd in its placement because it is not in a bad part of town. I'm sure there are others that are in bad parts of town, but the one
bad part of Omaha.
There's some parts that you should be a little more careful.
Oh, okay.
I used to work for the Open Door Mission.
Okay.
And we would deliver lunches on Fridays to people in the community.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a specific part of town that I will not disclose that it was, we had 3 different vans that we were delivering stuff in, and you had to go in the one marked Open Door Mission. Otherwise, you might have some trouble.
Oh.
And there was one specific instance where I was not in the van marked Open Door Mission, and the driver was like, "No, we'll be okay. They'll recognize me." And I was like, "Okay." We pull up in the unmarked van in a pretty questionable situation, and as we are pulling into this like circle, There are multiple people that came up with shirts lifted showing that they were armed.
Yorking it.
Yeah. That's not how.
Oh, the wrong verb? Okay, my bad.
They were carrying, and we were like, hey, we're from the Open Door Mission. And they're like, oh, okay, you're cool.
Oh.
It was, I'm going to be honest, I was like, we're not going in the unmarked van again. This is
let's start taking the big.
Yeah. The one that has like the giant logo, Open Door Mission. Yeah. I was like, okay, because they were very appreciative that we were there. They,
100%.
They were happy about the lunches.
But just don't come in the unmarked van.
But like,
there are rules to this.
Yes, there was a reason that rule existed. We found that out really quickly. And I think the person that was driving was maybe not from, they were from like maybe a smaller place. And like, oh, it'll be fine. And I was like, you don't understand how this works.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, there are parts of Omaha where you should be careful.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me know.
Yeah, I'm just trying to help out here.
Can you make a map for me?
Yeah,
okay, perfect.
We'll do a little like
the no Austin zone.
Yeah, we'll just put like a circle and an X through it, and just be like, no, this is not for you at any time of day.
It's tough.
Although I bet the Hurrdat sports van would get some run. We'd be all right.
That would be fun.
Just
not recently. Not if they went to Midland. They'd be mad at us. They'd be very upset with us.
Yeah, Mustache Adam, the second one is the one that I'm aware of, and both of those are good parts of town.
Are we talking trailer parks?
Yeah. Both.
Oh, hot danger. Good point. Trailer parks. Some are crazy nice. Some are 8 Mile. Very true.
Wait, there's crazy nice trailer parks?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean, like crazy? Like, what's the scale of a crazy?
So most
nice
of the times
park?
when you go to a trailer park, most of like those trailers are pretty old. Like the trailer that I lived in college was, I think, originally constructed in the 80s.
Oh.
And remember, for people who don't know, they're called mobile homes because you can pick them up and move them.
Yeah, they're mobile.
You just sit on the plot of land that is upon, right? Like you pay the lot fee essentially, and then you pay for if you buy a new trailer park or buy a new trailer, it's essentially the mobile home that goes on top of the plot that like you have purchased. I've been through. I want to say there was like a newer trailer park in Kearney where it was all of like 2020s or 2010s trailers. Those places were nice.
So it's kind of like RVs. Like an old RV is kind of gross. Mm-hmm. A nice RV is really nice.
Like when somebody says like, hey, we're getting in the Winnebago and we're going to get out of here. You're like, oh, I don't know about that.
Or you got like the pop-up trailer.
Yes.
And you're like,
I don't know if I like that. But when someone says, I just got this new RV right off the lot.
Come check out my RV. And you're like, oh, I could live in here.
Yes. RVs are one of those unique lifestyles where some people love an RV. I think I would really enjoy being in an RV. I've always wanted to do a long road trip in an RV.
I also think this is one of those things where there's a double standard if you're rich or if you're poor. Like if you're like not well off and you're like, oh, I've got an RV, people are like, oh, that's kind of trashy.
Oh.
Or like, oh, we're going on vacation, we're taking the RV.
Okay, yeah.
But if you're rich and you're taking, obviously the quality of RV is going to change.
Right.
But if you're like, oh yeah, we're taking an RV trip, people are like, oh, that sounds incredible. Where are you going?
There are many families in Sydney that would take their RV from Sydney to Lincoln to tailgate for Husker games.
Yeah, no, that's pretty common. I think that used to be the big thing with the College World Series. You don't see it as much anymore.
Oh, that sucks. I would love to see RV Village. That would be cool.
So we called it Dingerville. And
that rocks.
It was
Great name.
There was a whole parking lot over by it wasn't a park, it was a field that they just turned into a parking lot over by Rosenblatt. And I think they eventually they ended up hooking up electricity and stuff over there. I think there's a place that they do that now, but it's not as close to the stadium and not as many people do the RV thing anymore. But like the people from LSU would just roll up like in a caravan.
Yeah, that's awesome. RVs. That's incredible.
Yeah, and you could just walk through there and you would just get like the best food of your life. It was incredible. You'd just be like, oh, can I get some gumbo? They'd be like, yeah, we got you.
Well, especially in the RV because you got so much storage in that thing,
100%. And they're ready to go. And they're experts. They know how they're doing this.
I'd love to see an RV Village at CWS. We got to bring that back somehow.
Hope my mom's not listening. That may or may not be where I had my first beer.
Whoa. Rico, where was your first beer? You remember? Do you remember?
First beer?
Yeah. Not like your dad handed you one, like one that you actively sought out. You're like, oh.
I didn't really actively seek this one out. They were just like, you want a beer? And I mean, to be fair, I started shaving when I was like 12, so they may not have known. But
yeah.
I think it also might have been CWS.
Whoa. Did you guys have your first beer together?
No.
Oh, right. Sorry. My bad.
Good talk, Rico. You're
no, he's working on the Big 12 graphics. Really, so we got to buy him some time.
Bringing the heat today.
You have Scotty Fox on here twice.
Well, delete one of them.
Which one?
Wait, got Scotty Fox.
I think he belongs in the last category.
Okay.
I think. So, yeah, delete the other one. I don't know, man. I was trying to work. It was late at night. Apparently too late for Rico to work. I was working, but Rico's like, I can't work.
We got Scotty Fox on there for.
I don't know.
He ain't starting.
He might be.
No.
I don't know. Where is he? West Virginia?
Yeah.
Who got the starting job there?
Well, Hawkins is supposed to be the starter, isn't he?
I don't know. I read Scotty Fox.
Where'd you read that?
Internet.
Interesting.
To be fair, though, it makes sense with where I ended up putting him.
Okay, so it doesn't matter, really, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Wow. Glad you did a lot of research for this one.
I did. How dare you?
Okay, my bad. Also, by the way, before we get too far away from actual sports and everything, do you know what the worst drive in the entire Omaha Metro is? Getting up to Elkhorn North. That is, I went up there yesterday. That is diabolically too far away. It is also, I spent 5 minutes turning left out of the parking lot.
Yeah.
And then another 5 minutes waiting at the stoplight, I think on, is it Blondo and 180th? I don't know what it is. Yeah.
I believe so.
Gross.
So anytime you get too far northwest or southwest in Omaha and you're like super far from Dodge or the interstate, horrible drive. Like getting to Sasha's house, freaking nightmare.
Yeah, remember when she invited us over? We said no.
Well, she invited us over to a neighbor's house.
That was weird, Sasha.
Yeah,
that was a bit odd. Yeah,
I was like,
I didn't know what to do with that information.
I was like, I get that they have a pool, but like, I don't know them.
I will give her this. If there had been a follow-up and she was like, you guys coming, I probably would have considered it.
By the time I considered it, I was like, I'm pretty tired.
That was very funny on Saturday when we're all sitting around. You just go, "Oh, it's 9:30. Wrap it up." You told everybody to go home.
To be fair, we started at 3.
Yeah.
But also I had tennis in the morning. I couldn't go too crazy.
That's fair.
You know, but no, it's
you had a lot. You were talking really big for someone who had plans to be in bed at 9:30.
Well, yeah, that may have been the seltzers talking.
That was definitely the seltzers
or the snacks.
What was your count at the end?
I have no idea.
No,
I don't know. I wasn't driving, so I didn't care. I only keep track when I'm like, hey, I might have to drive at some point. So
yeah,
like, I'm very responsible about like my consumption. But if I know I'm not driving, so Natasha had like a dental procedure, so she couldn't really drink.
Yeah, see,
and so she's like, well, I guess I'll DD, and I was like, dope.
My thought was, if there was any level of concern for me in getting home, I would just walk.
Yeah, you were very close.
Yeah.
Also, we could
very convenient for me.
We could have driven you.
No, I don't want that.
I like to go to places that are pretty close to my house. Like it's very convenient.
I was glad I got to see that place. I was pretty pumped.
You never been to Office West before?
Never been. Yeah. Office West is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a nice little divey bar.
Yeah. Music taste was more for you than me, but that's fine.
Yeah.
You're playing a lot of. There was a couple of good hits in there. I did enjoy, but then there was a couple times I was like, oh, we got some olds.
Not all those were me. To be fair,
that's fair. That's fair.
A lot of people were working with the jukebox there.
Yeah, when the young crowd doing a fantasy football draft in the room next to us started to take over, then that wasn't good.
Yeah, that was time to go.
Yeah,
we got to get going.
Then they were just playing Kanye, and we were like, "Whoa, hey."
Yeah, I was like, I don't know about.
Not the best. It's fine. It's fine.
Can we go like college dropout Kanye, graduation Kanye?
You're pro Kanye.
I mean, I think pre-Kardashian Kanye, I'm more on board with.
It's fair. Okay.
The first couple albums were incredible. I don't know what to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really separate that from him becoming
the art from the artist. Yeah,
becoming a crazy person.
That's fair.
You know.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It's not like we're
the
listening.
Artist is Kanye. The crazy person is Ye. Remember?
Ooh.
He stopped taking his meds.
Who made the shoes though?
Yeezy.
Ye made the shoes.
I think Ye made the shoes.
Okay.
Those shoes are ugly as hell.
You think the shoes are ugly? I thought the first iterations were pretty nice.
Yeah, I've heard they're very expensive for no reason.
Yeah, that is true. They are very expensive.
I'm gonna look these up. No, these are ugly as hell.
I remember somebody wore Yeezys at like a basketball game or something like that, in Sydney
while playing basketball.
Yes, and I was like,
no, that's
I don't
insane.
know about that.
That's insane.
That's just trying to look droopy as hell. You can't do that.
Somebody was wearing there's certain versions of the retro Jordans that you cannot hoop in, right? And somebody was wearing. I think somebody was hooping in Jordan 3. I think they were.
Are those closer to cross trainers at that point?
No, they're closer to like old school Converse. We're very flat on the bottom, and I was like, "What are you doing, man? This isn't. You can't hoop in those.
You can't hoop."
And he's like, "No, I'm good. Don't worry about it."
Do you remember when we had the bright idea for state basketball? Hey, let's take photos of all the kids' shoes and have who wore the best shoe. And then we thought of it during the Class D games, and everyone was wearing basically just boots. Damn it! This was a good idea.
Everybody's wearing steel toe.
Dang it. That would have been a good idea.
There were no Yeezys.
Yeah.
I mean, look at these. These don't even make sense. Like, what's happening here?
Okay, that's not a shoe. What is that?
Yeezy.
That looks like something that
Foam
comes out of the
runner,
Alien franchise.
Yeezy. Like, all these are horrifying.
The cheapest one on this being $151. Okay, that's just a plant. That's just not even a shoe.
That looks like you know those like old school like ice bag things?
Yeah. Yes.
That, like with the blue ones?
Yeah.
That's what that looks like.
Mm.
I don't know.
God, that's tough.
I'm not a Yeezy fan. These are disgusting.
Not a big shoe guy. Not a big Kanye shoe guy.
I'll say I love shoes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big. I mean, you know me. I got a lot of Jordans. I've got a lot of different
Yeah.
Jordans. I'm not doing the Yeezys.
This has been the morning of Wise. We got York and Yeezy.
Yorking it and Yeezy.
Yep.
What's
That's
up?
a
Rico?
great podcast title.
Yeah.
Yeezy and Yorking it.
Yep.
Yeezy to York it.
There it is. Nice. How do I, Rico?
Yeah, no, Haas. I know that you hooped in the Converse back in the day. It's also why it's also why NBA careers lasted like 4 years.
That's also why everybody that hooped back in the day has bad knees and ankles now.
Yeah, have you seen Larry Bird walk?
That is because of his back, because he's a stubborn old fool and decided to cement his parents' driveway.
I'm just saying, the Converse didn't help.
No.
You see, like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar walking around, like that man's in pain all the time. You think Bill Walton's feet would have
That's
broke?
mostly just because he's tall.
You think Bill
Yeah,
Walton's
he's
feet
a seven
broke on
footer.
his own?
I have no idea.
You're basically playing in flip flops with a cover on them.
Mm.
Yeah, but that's before anybody knew that 7-footers could even move. So
Bill
they're
Walton
seeing
was-
these guys and they're moving around. They're like, how do we treat your injuries? I don't
Bill
know.
Walton was moving.
Yeah.
Bill Walton was nasty with
I mean,
it.
He's
you're-
also eating candles.
Yeah, you notably love all the, old time players. Those are your favorites.
I like a lot of the old timey players. I think some of them are wildly overrated, but like Pete Maravich would age beautifully in today's game.
Oh,
so
maybe the
would-
new Wardell.
So honestly, Curry was. I compared him to Pete Maravich very early in his career, and people thought I was insane, and I was like, I don't know. I'm pretty sure I nailed that.
You are 1 for 1 right now for calling out old takes and people doing that with the who is the coach? that
Oh,
you call
Skip
it?
Holtz?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe. I didn't think DB saw it. I sent that to you because he responded,
Yeah.
not
No,
because
we got
I was
that.
just like, oh, burn. Like
No, I saw the full interaction. I was like, oh, good for Ravi.
I was like,
Happy for you.
Skip Holtz. I don't know if you saw, if anybody saw it. So Skip Holtz was asked about retiring, and he goes, "You show me in the Bible where it talks about retiring, and I'll consider it." And I, having gone to Bible college, I was like, I'm pretty sure there's something in there. And so I found it. It was Numbers 8:25. It says at the age of 50 years old, you should retire and give up your working whatever. And it's totally out of context, but he said if it's in there. So I quote tweet. I sent a screenshot and I quote tweeted it and I tagged him in it. And he's like, I guess I should have thought about it 12 years ago. It was pretty funny. It's good interaction.
That's right, Skip. I did get it when you first sent it. I thought it was Lou Holtz, and I was like, isn't he dead?
R.I.P.
How's he tweeting? Who's tweeting? who's tweeting from this guy?
No,
But
Skip.
Nope, it was Skip.
Skip.
Much different guy.
Skip. I agree, Funky. Pistol Pete would tear it up today. He'd be an absolute menace. He's way bigger than people. Pete Maravich was 6'5". That dude's huge.
Whoa!
Like
I
he's
did not know.
That's a big guard. Like he would have been. He did it really well.
Was he Yorking it back in the day?
There it is. There's the interaction.
Thanks for Lulla.
Yeah.
Guess I need to start considering it 12 years ago. Guess I need to start
I
considering.
think he meant needed. Guess I needed to
Oh,
start
okay.
considering it 12
Yeah.
years ago. It's all right though.
God, I hate sometimes when I read Twitter in JP form. That's Jacob Padilla for those keeping track at home.
Jason, don't get me started on people not respecting Curry's handle. Curry has an insane handle.
At Steph Curry 30.
Like let's not get into this.
It's
all right.
terrible.
Maravich's handle was a little flashier, but Curry's handle is insane.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Your interaction's almost as good as mine with Hugh Freeze.
Tim Boyd, it was also in the NASB. So if you're hating on the new international version, all right. Also, I was trying to find the translation that said retire in it. So
retire.
Retire. I'm tired. I'm tired.
Do you want to take a break? Get to football?
I guess. I mean, sure.
I don't know. It feels like we have a lot of football to talk about for once.
Coming up on the show today, we think.
We think.
Well, we know Brian Christopherson, Husker 24/7.
Bang.
Andy Kendeigh, KETV.
Bang.
And at 9
We think,
a.m., we
potentially,
believe,
possibly,
we believe one Damon Benning will join us here on Hurrdat Sports Live.
he's going to just join you. You two are going to be talking the whole time.
I mean, you can talk too.
Yeah, but you're the one who has all the questions.
I do have lots of questions.
See,
for
that's
DP.
that. I know. I might just take a smoke break during that time.
You're gonna
Shane,
go,
you want a hula berry with
you
me?
gonna hit that hula?
You can take a sabbatical?
Yeah.
You guys gonna go York the hula berry outside?
Me and Shane will be yorking it out front.
No. You go to trailer park for that.
Good one, Shane.
Damn it, I hate it when Shane's funny. That's Austin. I'm Ravi. We'll be right back. More Hurrdat Sports Live after this.
He's the only person, surely in college football, that's played fullback and receiver, and done that multiple times in one game. I think it's a testament to him as a football player. He is a football player. You really don't label him with a position. He works with me a lot because of what we ask him to do from a physical standpoint. It's a little bit more than a true wide receiver. So he still does everything, but he can line up and play fullback. He can play tight end. He can play the wing. He can play out in the slot. He just kind of does a little bit of everything for us as an experienced football player, very smart football player. And you match that up with the physicality that he plays with. We're looking for some really good things from Wood.
Your schedule is filling up. Get back to busy at Edwards Kia. Lease the 2027 Kia Seltos S starting at just $269 a month. Ready for every run on the calendar. 2 great leases, 1 less thing to worry about. We've also got the 2026 Kia Sportage EX starting at $249 a month. Don't wait. Get back to busy this August at Edwards Kia.
When you look at their non-conference schedule, you see NFL venues, MLB venues, NHL venues, WNBA. Do you think this could be the biggest year for college volleyball?
I think so. And the fact that, and a lot of these are playing for money. I mean, they're going to get money for going to these events. So that just shows you how much college volleyball is elevated and is growing right now. And, the only way that they're able to offer that money is because they think they got TV contracts that are, helping to pay for that, and sponsorships in those cities, in those arenas, or venues that they're playing in. But I'm going to go back. The stadium match started all this, and now you're seeing this. Everybody wants, look, they got 92,003. Let's see what we can get in some of these places. But I think it'll be pretty cool. I think it's going to be really hard to keep players focused and perform. I'm worried about Wrigley, the weather. That's going to be interesting. The other ones should be better, but Also, I think some of those are going to feel like this is a national championship match. Like going to Vegas for $1 million playing against Texas, that's going to feel like a national championship setting. So it's exciting. It's great. It's going to get people talking more about volleyball.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Great. It's been a great summer, great camp. Guys are working hard. It's fun. Got a lot of young guys haven't played a lot of football at the tight end position, and just to watch them from May to June to July into camp has been something fun. It's a real close group. Lindenmeyer's doing a nice job being a leader in the room, bringing them up. So I feel like they're in a good place, and it's good to be around those guys. They work hard.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's awesome. I'm Ravi here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. I gotta say, unrelated before we get to our Big 12 tiers.
I
thought Marcus Satterfield looked great. Like, he looked young. I was like, I thought it was Brett Maher for a second.
Interesting.
Like,
okay.
I was kind of stuck. Go look at him from a video from like a year ago, and then go look at the one from
He's
yesterday.
wearing the same outfit, isn't he? Like, I mean,
He
generally
always-
speaking, he's always got the cap on. He's always doing like a hoodie or a quarter zip over.
He always looks like he's about to hit the driving range.
Yeah.
100% of the time. I'm just saying, go find a video from him like a year ago, and then compare it to yesterday. I was like, maybe my guy found next gen. I don't know. Like, it was.
You think that's what it was?
Listen, I don't know what else it could be. Like, I was stunned.
Maybe he has less stress in his life. You don't know.
Maybe he's got the Carter Nelson thing rolling, and although his answer on Carter Nelson was interesting, but
we
anyway,
don't have time for that.
If you want to look as young as Marcus Satterfield, allegedly, 402-614-9700. Call our friends over at Next Gen Male Medical.
Oh man, he did look kind of disheveled last
See,
year.
he looked way better yesterday.
Yeah. Is it because he shaved? Is that
Maybe he's one of like the 4 people on the planet that don't look better with a beard.
No, it's just because it was so unkept, and it's not like consistent everywhere. Is when it gets
even
grown
some
out.
of those older pictures. Like,
it's shaved. It's mostly the shave.
Maybe his tight end room is so good now that he's stressing less.
Let's hope so. Dana didn't like it. Maybe he was full bearded, stressed earlier, and then Dana said that, and he was like, "We got to shave. We got to focus up." And now they're good.
Lock in.
Never know.
Anyway, speaking of people that need to lock in,
wow,
it's us.
It's apparently you.
Wait, why?
Well, Rico keeps saying there's problems with your list.
No, he lied about the second one.
Oh,
that one was Rico can't read.
That is true. The first part was true. You had Scotty Fox twice.
I did, and Scotty Fox may not even start, but that's kind of the point of where I put him on the list.
So he's your sure thing?
Yep, nailed it.
Number one.
Spoiler, Scotty Fox or whoever the F starts for West Virginia in the Iowa QB tier.
Whoa, are you for serious?
Just going to spoil that for
wow.
you. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Scott, West Virginia in the Iowa QB tier.
You didn't even put up transfer. Okay. You know what? Never mind. Never mind. It's fine. We'll talk about it now.
All right. Do you want to put my list up first, Rico? Since we're already spoiling it a little bit.
Spoiled it.
All right. So I only had one sure thing in the Big 12, and I almost didn't have one.
Yep.
But upon further review, I don't know if it's Fifita or Fafita.
I think it's Fafita.
Okay. Noah Fafita. He's produced at a pretty high level for 3 straight years.
Super consistent.
He's done it over 2 different head coaches, different coordinators. If you had done this last year, I'd have put him in the veterans with questions category because there was a little bit of extra turnovers that first year in the new system 2 years ago. But he answered those questions, went right back to his production from 2 years ago. I think he's clearly a sure thing, and I think he's the only sure thing in the Big 12.
Yeah.
3 straight years of good production. My one question to answer, Devin Dampier and Connor Wegman. Connor Wegman has only done this for 1 year, and it's been his only real healthy year in college football. So that's my one question. Can he stay healthy again, and can he replicate his 1 year of success? Devin Dampier, the question is, can he do this without Kyle Whittingham and Jason Beck in Utah? Right? New offensive coordinator. The offensive coordinator that he had in New Mexico followed him to Utah, and now he's gone. So that's my Devin Dampier question.
Okay.
Veterans with questions. Avery Johnson and DJ Lagway.
I just have many questions about Avery Johnson.
So that's fair. Yeah, that's what questions. Lots of questions. This is not a one question.
Right, yeah, right. First off, is your family going to stop fighting in the stands? That's my number one. I think my number two is, can you play good quarterback for 12 games?
And I think the other question is, does the return of Colin Klein actually matter that much to your production? So that's the big question there. The question with DJ Lagway is, are you ever going to play up to your potential? I mean, that's it, right? That's the whole thing. But we're squarely in. He's not a young gun anymore.
But you're not putting him in transfer either.
No, because I think
we know enough about him.
We know enough about the transfers. To me, these are kind of blank slate guys to a certain degree, and there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them in the Big 12 this year.
And I'm a little surprised you put Mestemaker there in transfer.
So the jump in level is what I have with Mestemaker, going from North Texas to a power conference. That to me, like if I was going to be that hard on John Mateer, I have to have that same energy for Drew Mestemaker, even though I like Drew Mestemaker better as a player and prospect. We know nothing about him at the power conference level.
Very true. Very real.
He's in the transfer category. That's basically true of all these guys. Although Mestemaker, Barnett, and Jaden Craig are the ones we know the most about in terms of production.
Listen, Barnett's a winner. And his stats aren't super incredible passing, but
good runner.
He's also back-to-back years been very consistent, and he was an all Sun Belt player last year. Got him to the college football playoff. However, you think that diced up, it still counts. But he's a pretty good player.
So,
but the problem is obviously when you throw for under 60% completion percentage, it's kind of tough.
And you've also got you've got two different groups of people in the transfers here for me. You've got the guys that are coming up from smaller programs that were highly productive. That's Craig, Barnett, and Mestemaker.
Oh, and you can throw Rayner in there too. From Arkansas State.
Yeah, I'll throw Rayner in there too. French and Boley, if it is Boley, we don't really know with Arizona State, but I think it's going to be Boley, are guys that we don't know that much about. I believe they're both power conference transfers into other power conference, but they didn't play that much. They're kind of a Kenny Minchie situation here. So we have a little bit separation in groups there with the transfers. And then in Iowa QBs, we've got...
I can't believe you put Hammond in Iowa quarterback.
So, no, here's why. Okay.
It's
not because he's necessarily untalented. It's because he in no way was the guy they wanted to start at quarterback.
100%, yeah.
Right.
I'm surprised that he actually stayed there. I kind of forgot that additional part of the Sorsby saga.
Yeah.
That he's still with the program.
Yes. So Will Hammond is not really an indictment on him so much as it is an indictment on the situation of nobody wanted him to be their starting quarterback. And that's how I feel about most guys that end up playing quarterback for Iowa.
Yeah.
The other two guys, whether it's Fox for West Virginia or Hawkins or whatever, I think it is going to be Isaiah Marshall at Kansas. I think he's been there a couple years, and I think they feel okay about him. But pretty untouted. Both guys are pretty untouted prospects. Both are 3 stars coming out. Don't have a lot of history in terms of production or anything like that. You're kind of just sitting here and you go, I have no idea what we're going to get. Nobody else really wanted you. Here's where we're at. Right. So that's the Iowa QB of it all. I also just didn't know where to put him.
Yeah.
Like Iowa QB was sort of my catch-all in the Big 12. This was by far the hardest one we've done.
Yeah. No, I agree. Out of the conferences that we've had so far, this had the widest range. And I have a couple on here that I have questions for, but I think that we'll get to that once we go to my list.
All right. Let's flip over to Austin's list here.
All right. So for mine, I'm with you that Noah Fifita is the Big 12 sure thing, and it's mostly because of consistency, right? That he's the one person that after further review it was okay, he's the guy that I know the most about.
Because initially we both thought no sure things, right?
And I think I'm glad we said sure thing and not NFL draft prospect or anything like that, because I know what I'm getting out of Fifita. I know what to get. Like, he will probably have these same stats every single year that he starts, no matter how long he plays. I almost put Dampier in there too. Because, and I know it was 1 year, I know he was super capable of everything that he did. I left him in the one question because of Whittingham moving on, because of all that sort of stuff. But I felt like, especially even just getting the sample size we did obviously the bowl game in the Las Vegas Bowl, I think that's just who Dampier is. I feel like we know consistently this is who he is going to be as a quarterback. I'm not saying that's his ceiling, but I feel like that's kind of what his game will be. And I felt almost more positive, kind of in the Fafita conversation, that, yeah, he's not going to be some NFL draft prospect more than likely, but this is who he is as a quarterback. So I almost leaned him there. I kept him in one question just because of the Morgan Scalley first-year head coach.
Yeah, so the big thing with me for Dampier was not Whittingham so much as it was Jason Beck. That was the guy that he had in New Mexico and was successful with. That was the guy he had last year at Utah and was successful with. Now he's without him for the first time.
Right.
That's where I'm just like, I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what Devin Dampier is outside of the confines of a Jason Beck offense. It's kind of the same thing, like the opposite version of Avery Johnson here, right? Where, hey, I know what Avery Johnson used to look like with Colin Klein. I know what he didn't look like without Colin Klein. Now the question is, does he return to that? We're in that middle year of Devin Dampier right now, and that's why I couldn't put him in the sure thing.
I have a few more questions of Mestamaker than one question, but I didn't want to lump him in with the vets because I don't think he fits in with the group that I have. So I left him in one question, and the main question is last year a fluke? Like that's all that it is. Yeah. I don't think that he has enough experience at the power conference level to be able to.
Got enough experience as a quarterback.
Yes, I mean he was the 5th string quarterback when he entered into his first program in college football, and now he's the starting quarterback at Oklahoma State in a Power 4 program.
People are talking about him a first-round draft pick. Like his ascent from it's the only one that's close is Chambliss.
Yes.
But Chambliss was playing quarterback the whole time, was actually playing.
Yes. And winning, too. Like, he was a very productive player at the levels he played
D2,
at. Yes.
Yeah. Whereas Mestamaker wasn't playing. He's the guy that never started in high school, right?
Yes.
So this is a guy that has not played very much quarterback. Like, this is a very strange situation.
So the Bear Bachmeyer, I was surprised that you left him under Young Guns. I know that last year he was just a freshman, but he performed so well and also got them their first conference title. So if you're looking at guys that I have a question on, it's more, can you replicate now that people have tape and film on you after a full season? Because now they can point out your flaws, now that they can look at that. I understand where you lumped him into the Young Guns, but truly for me, that was only one, and it's Julian Lewis, because it's the only person we don't know that much about, and it's also the person who I don't know what ceiling Colorado can get to.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Julian Lewis plays at an all-conference first-team level. I don't know. I still don't know how much better Colorado is.
I kind of looked at Young Guns as more of a wide-ranging category, almost like the transfers, where it's like, hey, there's different versions of these guys in here.
Yeah.
And so Julian Lewis obviously is on one end of that spectrum. Bear Bachmeyer is on the other end, where it's like, hey, they're both very young. I get that Bear started all of last year, but we still don't have a ton on him. So that's why I put him in there, even though he was pretty successful and obviously led them to a really successful season last year.
Wegman, my biggest question for him is just, can you elevate your play? I think Houston is one of those sleepers in the Big 12, and a lot of people would like to pick them.
But in fact, he needs to step up in order.
You do have to take that next step. Yeah. I think we hit all the vets with questions. Will Hammond, the only reason I put him in there is because you have to overcome the injury and your missed opportunities now with Sorsby. I feel like those are more questions. If you want to put him in Iowa quarterback, it's totally fine. The transfers, I put Hawkins in as a starter for West Virginia. He's very interesting. I think West Virginia is actually kind of an under the radar team, but he was not good at Oklahoma. And I think that he was maybe a higher level prospect as an evaluation than he was maybe at a quarterback at the time. And I'm curious if a new scenery and maybe closer to where he should have been from the start, maybe fits his profile a little bit better. I put Cole Ballard as a starting quarterback for Kansas. Yeah, I mean, take your pick. But Ballard was more funny to me because he only has 20 pass attempts against conference opponents so far in his career. And he's also the son of Chris Ballard, the GM for the Colts. So, he's bad at decision-making, especially at quarterback. It's not his fault. It's genetic.
Yeah, I think it's going to end up being Marshall. But, it doesn't matter. They're both very much in the Iowa QB category for me. I don't know how you don't put West Virginia in that category. Like, no matter whether it's Hawkins or Fox or honestly both of them.
Do you honestly know why?
Why?
Like, it's because I think West Virginia is actually the biggest sleeper in the Big 12.
That's a take, man.
I think I also trust Hurrdat a little too much.
Yeah, I'll say
which is the first time that's ever been uttered in history.
Post 2006,
yeah, that's the first time it's been said for a long time.
In a couple decades,
yeah, since the Fiesta Bowl, right?
You know what? I trust Rich Rod too much.
But yeah, I mean, luckily they're low enough on that radar. I can't be scapegoated for it, right? Like no one's going to, come with pitchforks and axes, so we should be fine.
Rico, clip this, please.
Please. I trust Rich Rod.
This is since Denard Robinson.
Again, I trust Rich Rod.
since Denard Robinson was scampering around Ann Arbor. That's the last time anybody was like, you know what? I think I trust Rich Rod too much.
You know who I trust?
Who?
Brian Christopherson.
Coming up next here on Hurrdat Sports Live.
Yeah, so like I would say, this is like football family with Coach Rule. I worked for him at Temple, Coach Sat, Coach Snow, Coach Foley. So just a lot of familiar faces there. And I consider those guys part of my football family. And then just a chance to come to a historic place like Nebraska was also huge for me and my family. My role is I'm run game coordinator, but I do most of my time is spent with the offensive line, working with Jeep and the offensive line. Yeah, so going back to the Temple days, I met Jeep in 2014 through Coach Rule and Sat. So ever since we met, we've kept in touch, and we always we keep in touch every offseason. We used to recruit against each other and things like that. So we've been friends for a number of years.
Your schedule is filling up. Get back to busy at Edwards Kia. Lease the 2027 Kia Seltos S starting at just $269 a month. Ready for every run on the calendar. 2 great leases, 1 less thing to worry about. We've also got the 2026 Kia Sportage EX starting at $249 a month. Don't wait. Get back to busy this August at Edwards Kia.
I think we used to be an outlier in that, and we were kind of like one of the only programs that would schedule this way. And it's been awesome to see our sport kind of evolve. I mean, you guys have watched this weekend all the like week 0 matches that have taken place. So now it's been great to see like more and more of the top schools like taking on some of these matches. I think we take on more than most and do it 4 weekends in a row. But it's awesome to get to open our season against these kind of teams and learn more about who we are and what our identity is and how we stack up, things that we need to change like throughout the season. So we also learned last year that it doesn't have to be perfect. You know, we finished 7-5 through the preseason last year and found our way to the Elite 8. So we know there's different paths to get there and give ourselves some grace if it doesn't go perfectly. But we're going into Friday with the expectation to win, just like we do for any match. But we know Purdue's really good, and they're going to give us their best too. And I'm sure they're expecting the same thing.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
I'll let the head coach make that decision as far as who's going to be the guy. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, we have multiple starters. You know what I mean? We have guys that can go be the guy. You know what I mean? And so different skill sets in the room. But the top of the room, I feel really comfortable with multiple guys starting right now.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Male Medical. That's Austin. I'm Ravi here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We are joined now by Brian Christopherson, Husker 24/7. BC, how are we doing this morning?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Doing good, BC. Are you enjoying every press conference that you get? I mean, yesterday was actually phenomenal. I don't mean this like satirically. I actually think that we got a lot out of yesterday's press conference comparative to maybe, I don't know, the weeks before.
Yeah, yesterday's was good. We're to the point, though. I think I get where you're driving to. That I think everybody's kind of talked out of stuff to say up at the podium for the most part. Although Jamal Rule discussing bowling for about 5 to 6 minutes was actually one of the more enjoyable parts of the camp press conferences so far.
Yeah, I was going to say, BC, is that like the lowest level of hobby that you like? No one's going to question. They're like, "Oh, bowling, that's kind of fun, right?" Like, I don't think most Husker fans are going to say he's spending too much time doing bowling, or that's an activity that's taking too much time away from football. I think, you can spend 45 minutes in the lanes and get back out there.
Well, maybe there's something you can take from that and transition it to football, because I don't know. I guess it wasn't clear if Jamal, how much he had bowled beforehand, but I was under the impression it was sort of a new hobby for him starting in May when he was bored, and he already bowled a high game of 245, which is incredible.
Yeah, that's very good.
My wife and I have actually gotten into it a little bit, where we'll go like once every couple weeks. And my high game is 190 right now. I was interested actually because I've bowled enough in what weight of ball he was using. He's got a 13 and a 15, so I actually was taking notes on that. So I was all about that discussion. But I think if you want to apply it to something, maybe it's that Jamal Rule is as comfortable as can be for a first-year freshman, just like getting up in front of like the state, which is what that podium sort of represents when you're up there and everybody kind of watches it and they analyze everything. And let's talk about bowling for 5 minutes. And he felt right at home. He's a fun kid, and I think he's a driven kid, and he's gonna have a say in that running back situation.
BC, I was kind of just taken aback by like how much joy he seemed to get from talking about bowling. Like there was like a genuine joyfulness about kind of that whole experience. I thought that was super interesting. But we'll stay on Jamal Rule here for a second. How usually when a coach says, "Hey, I've got multiple guys that could be my starter," we kind of feel like they're blowing smoke, right? I think most people believe EJ Barthel is telling us the truth there. But how surprised would you be if Jamal Rule takes that first carry on September 5th?
I would be a little surprised by that, just by the fact that, the other guys have a little bit of an experience edge on him. And I know they think a lot of Mekhi Nelson's skill set and obviously what he did in the bowl game with his first start. And Barthel even referenced it the other day. But then I think Mosey has probably been under-talked this offseason as far as just all the things he can do, how much more comfortable everyone around the program says he is now as a true running back in his second year. He's picked up a lot of things, and he's maybe the best Husker in space. That's what teammates will say as far as getting extra yards. If you're a defender trying to tackle him, it's a bear. So Mosey's a guy that don't sleep on. I feel like it kind of either goes to Mekhi Nelson sometimes or the freshman Rule for good reason, because he's so personable and there is a lot of intrigue about his game, and I think the upside is real there. But Mosey is a player that I'm as curious about as those other two, and I'm really interested to see with him, like, not just how he is in space, but I know he's really dedicated himself to being that type of back who can run between the tackles and does it all. And so we're about to see, as we've known all along, who really has it sort of in the games, and whoever gets the first carry, good for them, but they're going to have to keep earning it all fall. But especially I think in those first, I would say even beyond the non-con games, Michigan State, Maryland, you're going to have to show like, okay, I'm the guy who can produce in this type of setting. I can get 5 yards instead of 2 yards on this play. And then a big factor, which I think sometimes running backs at Nebraska have struggled with until Emmett somewhat last year, is getting past that second level. Is there that guy who can make that second level miss and not get tripped up after 6 yards when it could be 60 yards?
BC, just on that same note, like what Ravi was asking, does it matter who starts the game? I'm talking all 12 regular season games. Does it matter who gets the opening carry, who's in the backfield to start next to Calandria? Or does it matter who starts maybe the fourth quarter or the start of the second half? Is that more important? Or do you see it as it is some philosophical thing to be able to be that number one back when the ball kicks off?
I think it matters somewhat because it tells you, unless it's just a particular play and another guy comes in and, is in there the next 5 reps, it does give you like information on like, okay, this guy maybe beat out the others by a nose or has some slight advantage here. And you got to at least acknowledge that. But the question is well taken because I think it's this way with a lot of positions, right, guys? Like last week we were talking about the safety spot, and I said once on this show, like Rule has brought this up before, like the, sort of the NFL 53. I think in Nebraska's case, it's like a 57 or something. And it's sort of that the guys who you're going to count on to play. I think everybody in that camp has an opportunity over the course of the first 4 or 5 games to sort of change like what that depth chart looks like, or maybe shift it in some manner, and especially at running back.
BC, which do you think is closer in terms of not knowing today who the starters are going to be, running back or safety?
I don't know. They're probably both pretty close. I get the sense running backs very much up in the air. I guess I'd say running back there. I mean, I know we talked last week about like we've been at our site big on like Jameer Khan and just how other people talk about him. And I take a lot of my information, of course, from like what guys will say unsolicited about a player. And sometimes they'll bring up a guy's name because it's more just a leadership component, right? Like this guy is just so vocal and it kind of stands out. So he jumps into their mind. That doesn't necessarily mean he's the best player, but I think Khan has a vocal presence on that back end that is interesting. But as we talked about with like Caleb Benning and Rex Guthrie, I think that spot's a competition. I think cornerback's interesting. Jeremiah Charles, but Vic Evans and Odom have been in that spot. I think who trots out first at linebacker is interesting. We know that Chambliss was out a little bit, for last week, but Dawson Merritt's in that group of 4, and then with Dexter Foster and Vincent Shaver, sort of like who's really in front, or how do they split those reps? There's really at every level on the defensive side, there's something you can point to and be like, that's going to be interesting to look at the snap count on that Sunday morning, the day after. And then on the offensive side of the ball, I think running back is where you jump to with that. Tight end, I'm kind of curious, like the second, third, fourth guys, like what that rep count looks like. And then also at wide receiver, I guess I'd say like Quinn Clark, how much he's blended into that top 3 and what the reps show. Of course, the first few games, you're hoping Nebraska has a big lead and the reps are a little slanted, in the sense that like some backups maybe play more than they usually would. But I think we can get some tells, at least from those games, on some of the stuff we think we know, but what's the reality here?
BC, just what you're talking about with the defensive backs, running backs, like we've had the conversation so far this morning, and maybe some of the other position groups too. How do you quantify reliable depth and applying that to what Nebraska's roster looks like this year? And the only reason I ask that is because I think a lot of times we go into seasons and we talk a little bit about, oh, well, they have all these options, but we don't know who the starter is. And we don't necessarily say that means that a team has good depth. Like running back is a great example. They don't have, a defined starter as of right now. We don't know who that could be when we get into the season, but I don't know a lot of people that would say, oh, well, they don't have good options at running back. They're just waiting to see maybe who that starter is. Does depth kind of determine how it falls after the starter, or how do you evaluate that?
Yeah, the reliable depth thing is interesting. I think at running back, for instance, I like it there right now. I mean, EJ Barthel is one of my favorite coaches over there, the way he talks about his position group, the way he coaches them up. And I have been a person who's always been pretty defensive of like the conversation there. Like they don't necessarily have the guys, or they aren't building the right type of thing over there, because I think they actually do have the guys. And I think that is going to be proven out. I'm willing to put some stock into that. And so I think that's a spot where there is reliable depth, but you got to show it. They don't have much game experience. So I get all that. But there are spots where I thought the conversation with Rule last week or Saturday, whenever it was interesting, where he was talking about how many defensive guys do you actually play when a game is tight? Like what does a really good program, what does that count look like? And he mentioned in their studies, that's about 18 guys, I think he said 17, 18 guys. And that sounds about right to me. And so you start to do the math in your head and to be like, do I think Nebraska has that? And I think you can get up to 14 or 15 pretty easily, but you are, after that, you're wondering like if there's a drop off or not. And so that's what they're going to have to answer. And I don't know that we'll get it for sure in those first few games, but it's going to be valuable for those guys to get those reps to build into the Big Ten season. And then ideally against Michigan State, Maryland, leading into Indiana, you sort of see it where you're like, okay, they actually have like 18, 19 defensive guys where when they cycle this guy out on the interior, I don't feel like it falls off a cliff or anything like that. And so, the interior of the D-line, I'm curious what that looks like as far as reliable depth. And then, on the back end, I think they might have it, but at the corner and safety spot, I just want to see those guys prove it in a game.
BC, do you think there's any chance that there's certain guys that we believe are either going to play big roles or be starters that the competition might either be a little closer or, when we roll out there that your fans might be surprised that certain guys that we expect to see out there maybe aren't?
And
I'll give you names.
Give me a name.
Yeah, so I'm thinking like Williams Winery, right? You've got Lenhart, you got Anthony Jones. I don't know. One of those guys isn't going to start. One of those three guys, right? Isn't going to start. I think about like a Vincent Shaver. You mentioned Dexter Foster. If Chambliss is healthy, we're all assuming he's going to start. Like maybe a Vincent Shavers is a guy that gets beat out by a Dexter Foster or somebody else. Like those were kind of the two that I had off the top of my head.
Yeah, it was good to hear you say the names because it matters where you're coming from with that. So on both those cases, neither would surprise me if it's like, okay, let's just take the ends first. Like if it's Anthony Jones and Lenhart, that would make sense to me. I mean, think about how they've talked about Anthony Jones since he got here. Mm-hmm. Like Roy Manning loves him. I mean, he's like one of the leaders in the room. He bounces ideas off of them. I think whether people here, like fans and media, were enamored when he was first announced, like they kind of looked at, he's been 4 schools in 4 years and all that. That was the narrative. I think they saw someone who fit what they wanted to do, and they knew he was going to be pretty valuable. And so, yeah, I kind of expect that Anthony Jones could start. Wouldn't be shocked if it's Winery, but I think those three between him and Lenhart. Let's stop on Lenhart a second, because I actually wrote about him, and I feel like he's one of those players who, like, not everybody, but people kind of like think, I know what he's about, right? I've seen him for 3 years. You kind of settle in, like, this is the level I think he can play at. And I think we've talked about it on the show before. You guys do a good job on the show. That can be a real injustice to guys because, especially in the trenches, and we've talked about great players who have turned it on in their 4th, 5th, 6th year. I feel like he fits this scheme well. And I also think he's had a great offseason by all accounts. It's like not just Rule, it's Manning, it's Corey Brown will bring him up, and he's a strong guy who I think is ready to maybe take a step. And he's an important guy, like whether he makes that step or not. If we talk about this wanting to be a development program, it's guys like him and Van Poppel, like in year 4 or 5, now can they make that move where they're wrecking shop a little bit? So I got away from your question, but yeah, at linebacker too, Dexter Foster definitely is going to have a say in it, and he could start. He's been a guy that when Nebraska got him out of the portal, 24/7 Sports, Chris Hummer did a thing where he did like 50 guys across the country or who are like underrated. And there were scouts who are like, Nebraska got one with Dexter Foster. And if you look at his resume in the 7 games he was healthy last year. He got a lot done. He played well against Texas Tech, teams like that. So I don't be surprised if he's at the top. I like the linebackers because they have more options certainly than a year ago.
So I want to stay on Cam Lenhart here for a second because and I don't know that this is going to be the case or not, but I think a lot of times, especially with defensive linemen and maybe defensive ends in particular, but we'll give it the whole D line. Like, do you think there's a chance that sometimes these guys are really, really good at what they're asked to do, but because they're not getting some of the splash plays that we underrate their contributions, like they allow I think that was one of the biggest issues last year was the defensive linemen. It's not so much that they weren't making the splash plays, although they weren't. It's that they weren't doing their jobs in a way that allowed the second and third levels to make the plays they needed to. Like, does Cam Lenhart sort of fit that role to you where it's like, hey, this is a do your job guy so that everybody else can succeed?
Yeah, and I think last year he was being asked to do some things that weren't necessarily to his strength maybe at that point as a player. And I definitely think there's an opportunity actually in this scheme for him to make a few more splash plays. But I don't know. He's just a guy who he's very loyal to this program, and I know that he's a very hard worker. And I just think sometimes it's sort of because we get talking about recruits when they're like 16, 17 years old. And then we hear their names like 2 years before they're even in the program. And then they get here. And if they don't do exactly like what people are hoping at the highest level in the first 2 years, it's sort of like, I've heard about this guy for like 4 years, and we act like he's like a 23-year-old at that point when he's actually 19 or 20. And he's just sort of maybe figuring it out at that point, especially on either the O-line or D-line. And I feel like you have to have some grace there and some examination of history at that position. We've talked about Big Sue on here, Ravi, Ndamukong, and like, not to knock the early parts of his career, but it definitely was like,
it took a few years.
And then it was year 4, 5, 6. And I mean, Big Ty Robinson is a perfect example where it was actually year 6 when he sort of exploded, where it's like, oh man, they can't block him anymore, sort of thing. So I'm not saying Cam Lenhart's going to be that, but I'm saying I have an open mind to a guy like him or Van Poppel, like especially in a new scheme, showing us a different page in the book than we've seen before. And I think sometimes people are just like, I've heard his name too much. I know what the story is. It's like, I don't know. Look, those are the guys who are going to matter just as much as these newcomers from the portal or whatever that we talk about a lot.
I mean, you just described the Carter Nelson problem, right? We've heard about this guy forever, especially because he was in state, and then he plays a little bit early. So we're like, oh, this is just what it's going to be. And 2 years later, we're like, well, what happened to Carter Nelson? It's like, well, he's playing a pretty physical position, adjusting from 8-man to 11-man, as well as having to put on, the requisite maturity and both physically and mentally to play in the Big Ten. Like, we feel like we've heard about Carter Nelson forever, yet like he's still relatively young in his football career.
Yep. And he was really only a tight end last season. And Satterfield made a great point to put to the public, about he's had multiple injuries. And when a guy does that, it doesn't matter what you come in with or what your athletic traits are at this level. It's hard when you stop and start a couple times, especially early in your career. But you're exactly right. Like, his story is far from written, and that's the beauty of it. And the 5 and 5 rule, we often will first point it toward like a Calandria or a Brendan Black or Cam Lenhart, actually, who could now come back for 2027. But I think just as much about a Carter Nelson, who like last year probably didn't go exactly as he wanted it to. You're in year 3, but now there's got to be a little bit of a hop in the step for a guy like him. And there's others like him where it's like, I have 3 more years of eligibility still. Like, I'm the equivalent of the old days of being like a sophomore, right? Like a redshirt sophomore. He's going to be technically called a junior, but he's got 3 seasons now. And so you don't feel like if you're him, like a year was wasted, or man, I wish I had redshirted at that point, because that's out the window. And so I think all that can be useful to him. But I'm really interested what he does. I'm interested what Eric Ingerson does, a guy no one has talked about, who's kind of behind the scenes, just worked to build his body up, and I think he's going to be a big blocking tight end for this team.
BC, more on the just side of the press conferences and what you hear from the coaching staff, as well as just those individual players that have come up, not just the running backs yesterday, but just in totality through fall camp so far. What has been your take on just the demeanor and maybe the tone of what a lot of the commentary has been? Do you find it different than what you've heard in the past? And I'm more curious, do you find it different than maybe what the tone around the program is comparative to maybe how it's coming out of the walls?
You would want it to be this way, and I'm fine if people are like, yeah, whatever to this. But I don't know if you guys sense this. I think they're way more confident in who they are or what they can be than outside the walls. And again, you wouldn't want it any other way. But especially about the QB spot, which we all know how much hinges on that. Like, it's easy to kind of wave your hand at whatever is said about a new quarterback. Say, I've heard that before. I think I heard it about the last guy too. I don't know. There's something different, like how they talk about him and how he fits with the group than there has been. There's nothing forced about that conversation. And I think that is pretty useful going into a season to have that. I mean, guys, like a young guy like Jamal Rule or somebody, when they're like, oh man, wait and see on Calandria, it's going to be fun. Like they sort of have that vibe about them. So, there should be, if nothing else, if you've sort of been a Husker fan this offseason and been like, I'm just going to not let stuff hit my ears and I'm not going to buy into this or that. At the very least, I think you on September 5th, you go to the stadium or you sit up on your couch and you're like, let's see what this QB's got. Cause it could be a lot more entertaining, if nothing else. But yeah, I do sense there's a confident vibe. And also I think there are some guys who are more willing to call other guys out than there have been on past rosters. That I've heard that from a bunch of different people. And that's important too. Like when you get in that game and maybe you're down 10-3 early in the second quarter, who's the guy who can keep or get things on track or help you in that way? I think they've got players who are willing to hold each other accountable. And probably most importantly, and this will be tested in the fall, I think they might have the players who are willing to listen to that critique, take it in, know it's for their betterment, and then try to, obviously turn the tide from whatever's happening.
I know this was asked on Saturday to Rule as well, but are you surprised at all that even with as veteran as this roster is and everything else, that we haven't gotten any word on the single-digit jerseys and what that embellishes and what that has represented over the past few years for Nebraska and Matt Rule's rosters?
I'm not surprised yet. I suspect that could happen. Sometimes I can't remember if it's happened on the mock game or whatever on Saturday. I could see it being a day where that is introduced or within the next few days. So at this point, I think the timetable is okay. The captain discussion is also one people are interested in, because I grew up in the era where you had, season-long captains. That was something, that happened like the week before the game, and that, people I think kind of are used to that history with Husker football. I do understand, though, Rule's point on that, where you actually see who your leaders are. I mean, you can think stuff, and this is why everything we've talked about, we think this might happen, but you actually see, like in October, November, okay, this is who truly has the stuff when you're in the fire. And if you look at like last year's captains, not to knock them, but there's like 3 of the 4 guys or so that you'd say, I don't know, by the end of the year, if you would have said he's a team captain, you know what I mean? So and guys know that, like it just becomes like a fake patch if it's not real, in October, November. So I actually have no problem if they don't announce season-long captains, before the season.
BC, do you want to be on screen for my hot take, or you want me to let you go? You want to wait until?
No, I'll be on screen.
Okay, so
I'm ready. I'll put my coffee down.
This is captain related. So when Rule was talking about that over the weekend, I remember last year that he talked about how it was Dylan that came to him and asked about the season-long captains. And I couldn't help but wonder if it was, hey, I didn't get a single-digit number. I wasn't voted on that by my peers, and I would like some acknowledgement that I'm a leader.
I don't know. What am I supposed to do?
I'm just, that's...
That was the perfect answer, BC.
I think there's a part of me that thinks it was a acquiescing to maybe a bit of a diva quarterback. That's my hot take.
You should have ridden off to the sunset, BC. You didn't need to be a part of that.
I gave you the opportunity to not be here. I gave you the opportunity to not be here.
I'm fine. I do know the week of I remember the quote because Raiola said yeah, it's going to be awesome wearing that C on the jersey. Like he said that, like in the quote. And I remember he said that specifically, like having the patch and stuff, because a loyal writer, fan of the program who's, covers sort of the history of it. It's like, is there actually going to be like a C on the jersey this year? Because I think there's been a lot of years where that hasn't been the case. And so I don't know if about your theory or not, but you can put all that together and people can form whatever they want to. But I do like where their quarterback spot is right now. And they're looking forward with that. And they've got a guy in Calandria who I think is a hit with his teammates at this point. And we'll see if he's still a hit when you walk into the fire and you have some things that go wrong and stuff like that. But he's done a good job of sort of building a leadership role, and I think it's been very real. There's been nothing forced about it.
There you go. That's Brian Christopherson, Husker 24/7. Appreciate the time as always, BC, and just for you, just a little shrug, just
to hit him with
there you go.
I don't know.
We'll see you later, BC. We
Thanks,
appreciate
BC.
it.
Yep. See you guys.
That is Brian Christopherson, Husker 24/7. Coming up next,
How dare you do that to him?
I asked him if he wanted to be here or not.
How dare you? You knew what you wanted to do.
I gave him an opportunity not to. I was going to let him go if he wanted to just be like, nah, Ravi, you keep your nonsense over there.
That was mean.
I wasn't mean. I gave him an out.
At least we have an all-time BC moment now. Thank you for that. Just
what am I supposed to do now?
BC. That was just on point. I love that.
We'll be right back. Andy, Kendeigh, KETV coming up next. You're on Hurrdat Sports Live.
He's the only person, surely in college football, that's played fullback and receiver, and done that multiple times in one game. I think it's a testament to him as a football player. He is a football player. You really don't label him with a position. He works with me a lot because of what we ask him to do from a physical standpoint. It's a little bit more than a true wide receiver. So he still does everything, but he can line up and play fullback. He can play tight end. He can play the wing. He can play out in the slot. He just kind of does a little bit of everything for us. As an experienced football player, very smart football player, and you match that up with the physicality that he plays with. We're looking for some really good things from Wood.
Your schedule is filling up. Get back to busy at Edwards Kia. Lease the 2027 Kia Seltos S starting at just $269 a month. Ready for every run on the calendar. 2 great leases, 1 less thing to worry about. We've also got the 2026 Kia Sportage EX starting at $249 a month. Don't wait. Get back to busy this August at Edwards Kia.
When you look at their non-conference schedule, you see NFL venues, MLB venues, NHL venues, WNBA. Do you think this could be the biggest year for college volleyball?
I think so. And the fact that, and a lot of these are playing for money. I mean, they're going to get money for going to these events. So that just shows you how much college volleyball is elevated and is growing right now. And, the only way that they're able to offer that money is because they think they got TV contracts that are, helping to pay for that, and sponsorships in those cities, in those arenas or venues that they're playing in. But I'm going to go back. The stadium match started all this. And now you're seeing this. Everybody wants, look, they got 92,003. Let's see what we can get in some of these places. But I think it'll be pretty cool. I think it's going to be really hard to keep players focused and perform. I'm worried about Wrigley, the weather. That's going to be interesting. The other ones should be better, but also I think some of those are going to feel like this is a national championship match. Like going to Vegas for $1 million playing against Texas, that's going to feel like a national championship setting. So it's exciting. It's great. It's going to get people talking more about volleyball.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's Austin. I'm Ravi here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We are joined now by Andy Kendeigh from KETV. AK, what's going on, man?
Hello, boys. Happy, what's today? Today is Wednesday. Happy Hump Day.
Happy Hump Day.
Go.
Andy, so good to see you.
So
did I see you are an AP college football voter for the season?
Yeah.
You're not excited about this?
No, I just, I was, when Eric asked me to do it, it's one of those things like, do I really need more grief in my life? You know what I mean? And I'm just a little, I'm a little apprehensive just because I know how passionate people are and people nitpick and all that. But that's part of the fun, right? That's part of the fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I after week one, I haven't really gotten any complaints, or I should say after the preseason one. So, but I just took the 3-iron and went right down the middle.
So Andy, I am kind of curious because I've got obviously I have feelings about preseason polls. I think we all do a little bit. So I'm curious about what your process is in trying to determine, like, hey, I think this team's going to be good from last year versus sort of just like the logo on the helmet versus reputation. Like, how do you sort of sort through all that and decide? Because my big issue is I think a lot of teams get overrated just based on reputation or helmet, or conference. Like, how do you work through all that to try and be as reasonable as possible?
Well, a great question, and I think it's a little bit of mix of everything. And I do think if Indiana had a Alabama logo on their helmet or Ohio State, they'd be ranked a little higher, right? But the way I looked at it was, okay, so I looked at the preseason polls from each conference. I wanted to make sure that if the preseason polls that were selected either by media or coaches, they've got probably a better handle on conferences outside where I am at. So I really leaned heavily on that, and I didn't want to have an outlier that was sixth in the preseason SEC poll jump over a team that was supposed to be ranked third. You know what I mean? So I took that into account, but then I also took into account how they finished last year, who they have coming back, and the potential of what they have moving forward. I didn't take the legacy or the tradition part of it, that weighed a little less in my mind. But you know what? You guys know how preseason polls go. I do, and after having gone through this process, I think you can just say, you know what, it's a preseason poll. Let's see how it plays out. It will all fit. It will all get worked out in the first couple weeks, and maybe you guys can say, God, you guys were so wrong on this year's Penn State, which was that was kind of the example set from last year. So, we'll see how it goes. That's sports, and it will be fun to see how all these picks pan out. But Ohio State, Oregon, you didn't have to go far on a limb to go there.
Yeah, Andy, you're a better man than me, because if I was an AP Top 25 voter, I would always be throwing random votes out to just 25 would go to whatever Wyoming or whatever, just to really throw someone off and get people stirred up. But when you start your Top 25 process each week in and week out, I know this is something that I've always kind of struggled with, because some people evaluate the top 25 differently. I know some people who have made their own polls or were voters in the sense that you are now, that take at least a preseason top 25 and say, this is how I project the season to go. This is how I think the final top 25 standings should look. And some people say these are just the 25 best teams, regardless of schedules and everything else. Is that something you take into account when you're starting that process, or is it something different when you're going through it and as you're going into the season?
Well, I do take it as this is where I think the top 25 teams are now, because if you do take in schedules and all that stuff, there's going to be some attrition, or on the flip side, that the teams benefit from a weaker schedule. Penn State might be a little higher on that because they don't play many of the big boys in the Big Ten. So, but again, I do think it will all, wash out in the end, and the best teams will rise. It's just going to be interesting to see some of these matchups when, Oregon and Ohio State go at it, or, even, the Texas game early on in the season. So I look forward to it. And I love the fact that we have something to chew on for the first couple weeks, especially during, the preseason poll came out a little over a week ago, and we still, we're not even to week 0 yet. But yeah, it will be. I tell you what, this is a built-in excuse when I am at home. Let's say this weekend on a Sunday or something, or a Saturday, honey, I can't do XYZ. I've got to watch. TCU and North Carolina. I can't mow the lawn. That's going to have to wait. So I've already got that built in.
AK, when you're looking at these, I have 2 questions here again about process. How much did you consider new coaches? Obviously you've got Utah's ranked. That's a new coach. Penn State, you got a new coach there. Obviously Michigan, Ole Miss, lots of new coaches in the top 25. How much did you weigh that versus roster and how they finished the season?
Well, some of it I did, especially a Michigan. I think Michigan is going to be inherently better because they have an adult in the room, because honestly, Kyle Whittingham is a great coach, and he's gonna make sure that they got that thing going in the right direction now. And obviously they do have talent. So I think the new coach thing plays a part in it. But I think the roster talent kind of supersedes all that. But the Matt Campbell thing in Penn State, I took that with kind of a grain of salt because he's a solid coach. I think he's going to give that program a sense of stability after kind of a rough year last year. And but to say I ranked Penn State higher or lower because there was a new head coach, I didn't do that at all.
Okay, Andy. So on that list, and I know that you tweeted out very bravely your top 25 vote, because sometimes people, like you said, they'll come after you for any reason. Was there any teams on there that you think has the highest potential to move up? Just make a dramatic leap after maybe those first few weeks of the non-conference. Is there one that you're keeping an eye on?
Well, I think during the season, I think Penn State is one, because we've talked about them a little bit, just because Penn State has a favorable schedule. And if they do have the parts that I think they do, they're going to win some games. So if they're around and they're 7, 8, 8-0, they're going to be up in the top, 7, top 6, top 5. That's one of those things one of those programs that you look and you circle and you say, keep an eye on Penn State, because that's a team that can really, really elevate. And I think Michigan is another one because they're going to get tested. Obviously, Michigan's got a heck of a schedule, and but I do think they have the talent, and now they've got like I said, they've got a head coach that has been around the block and now has, the players to really make the push. Not that he didn't at Utah, but I think there's just a different level of expectation and maybe a higher ceiling at Michigan, that I think Kyle Whittingham can bring that Wolverine program to the next level. Of course, I'm going to lean a little bit Big Ten because I know that this conference is the best, but that's not to say that I'll overrank Big Ten teams. You know what I mean? So I think, getting back to Austin, when you were asking about the 25th team, you could have just thrown anybody in. In fact, I got grief from some family members saying, hey, why don't you pick Illinois there? Or, hey, why didn't you pick Minnesota there? I'm like, guys, it's not all about the Big Ten, even though a lot of times we think that. But again, if they win enough games, they'll be ranked. Just win, as they say.
No, Andy, hear me out. Listen, okay? Break the cycle. Big Ten only. All 18 teams every week. It doesn't matter.
18?
Yes, no SEC schools. And listen, you know that the SEC people will never find you, so you're safe here. We will protect you. We'll keep you safe. And I don't care what Big 12 schools you put from the Midwest that are in there. You could throw any of them. It doesn't matter. But if you made a top 25 with no SEC, a lot of people would praise you as the bravest man in America. That would be very good. That's a good move for the AP Top 25.
You like that? Purdue at 18, Georgia at 19. There we go.
Yes, break the cycle. Break the cycle, Andy.
National hero,
great.
Andy Kendeigh.
That's great.
Andy, this question came in from the chat. Is there a team that you ranked relatively highly that you're looking at and you go, I do think they're going to be good, but I also, there's a part of me that thinks they might be this year's Penn State as a regression candidate?
Ooh, that's a great question. Well, I'll tell you another team that you circle is USC, because they could go either way, right?
Sure.
If they come stumbling out of the blocks, I think their head coach, Lincoln Riley, is going to be he's already in some hot water. It's go time for that program. I think USC is one of those programs where they could conceivably find its way into the top 10, or they could conceivably find themselves out of the top 25 and lose their head coach. That's the dynamic we're dealing with certain programs, and I think USC is one of those.
Andy, as you get ready for the rest of this week, obviously we've got high school sports getting ramped up. We got Nebraska volleyball getting ramped up as well. Like, where is your attention? I know Saturday you already mentioned you're locked in on TCU UNC.
Oh yeah,
but
appointment viewing right there.
But as this season of busyness gets really rolling this week, where's your attention?
Okay, first of all, it's funny when you get mentions or memories or whatever, you get those time warp pictures on your phone or on Facebook or whatever social media, and it says 4 years ago today, and you see you get the picture of Aviva Stadium in Dublin, Ireland, and I was like, oh yeah, that was 4 years ago. Sometimes it feels like 20 years ago, and other times it feels like last week, but more like 20 years ago. Hey, here's something fun. Here's a fun fact. Lauren Michelson and Jake Fisher, the dynamic duo, headed down to Arlington, Texas today. They're actually covering the Spikes Under the Lights tournament. I cannot wait to see how this event is pulled off. So it's been there's some logistical hurdles that I know Lauren is faced with. So we'll have to see how the coverage goes. If nothing else, see what she comes up with on live shots today at 4, 5, and 6, and then tomorrow before the big match. It's a unique set of circumstances to have these 4 teams playing at Jerry World, and I'm interested to see how many people actually show up to this, and B, how this format is going to be carried out. Like a 4-team same day tournament that starts at 7. If they all go 3 sets. Do they fit it in that window? Volleyball is such a unique sport in terms of TV programming. So that's I'm taking it day by day, and today is get Lauren to Texas and get her smiley face in front of AT&T Stadium. That is goal number 1 today.
AK, more Nebraska fans that spike under the lights Thursday, or total fans that attend Millard North, Millard South on Friday.
That's great. That's great. They would stop selling tickets at some point, right? Millard North, Millard South. I would think that the fire marshal would have a
They
say
should
in
do
that,
the
right?
8-man thing where they just circle the field with like everybody's cars, and they could just, turn your headlights off. We're playing a game here. You just do one of those. I think it'd be great.
I mean, there is that hill back behind one of the goalposts, the one opposite from Q Street. That you can fit a lot of people on that hill.
I'm sure they could open up the high school gym. They could put a projector up. They could do a lot of different stuff. I mean, there's enough seats to go around.
Right. Yeah. They could take a page out of Illinois' playbook and put a Jumbotron outside the stadium so people who can't get in can actually watch. That's going to be an incredible scene Friday. Millard North, Millard South. Obviously, that's going to be our monster matchup, as we say, on week 1 of Operation Football. And so here's the other thing, pop up Lauren a little bit. She's flying back Friday morning, and she basically demanded to do that game, Millard North, Millard South. So she's going to pull like a 14-hour day. I know it's not, these aren't, nobody's complaining here. But when she said that, she's like, I have to do that game, Millard North, Millard South. So that is going to be. That's gonna answer a lot of questions, won't it? I mean, we're gonna see some high quality football, and I would think, what's the over under on the attendance there? Are we gonna get is that first number?
It's got to be at least. I mean, 8,000 is capacity, isn't it?
I think capacity is like 7,500 or 8,000.
Oh, okay. I didn't know it was that big. Okay, so
I think we're gonna be over.
Yeah,
you think about 8?
I think we're gonna be over because I'm not kidding. I think they're gonna sit people on the hill out behind the the goalpost on the south end of the stadium. We might be pushing 10.
Yeah. Did they pull a page out of the Nebraska softball playbook and put like temporary bleachers in the end zones or something? Just to squeeze more people in.
Standing on the track, all that sort of stuff. They can sell plenty of tickets. But
you sell goal line tickets or something.
Andy, you got to promise me something. And if Lauren is dying to be there, if Millard North pulls off this upset, our Ravi Lulla will be there. Can we get a fan reaction live cam? Can he do the 10 o'clock shot with Lauren? Like, just have him just be right there, decked in Millard North blue?
I would think that would be a must, right? That's must on TV. Absolutely. No doubt about it. I mean, would you storm the field? And is there a danger of the goalpost coming down?
I'll bring him down all by myself.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'll take him down by myself. No, you'll probably see me jumping in Brandon Kinney's arms of Millard North coach, former Husker great.
Of course, yeah.
Just jumping up and down like little kids.
DK. No, would you? I think you guys should rip down the goalpost and carry it to Lake Zarinsky.
Zarinsky,
how about that?
That's a distance.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Or just put it on a truck and then just.
I was gonna say, could we go down the hill and just throw it into that stream that's by Scott? Maybe.
There you go.
Over there.
No,
or just
Monday.
Take it down to the parking lot and throw it into the parking lot at what do you call it? The pizza place, the Amazing Pizza Machine. There you go.
Oh, there we go.
Monday morning, half of that goalpost will be in the studio. Mm-hmm. We'll have it here. We'll have it be framing the shot. Yeah, like we'll find a way.
There you go.
Stangs will find a way, Andy.
They always do, right?
They always do, don't they?
AK, appreciate the time as always, and I do expect to be interviewed after Millard North wins on Friday.
All right, I make that a point of emphasis for Lauren for sure.
All right, sounds good. We'll talk to you later, buddy.
Thanks, fellas.
Thanks, AK.
That is Andy Kendeigh from KETV. That would be electric.
Now listen, I'm neutral in that game, that party. I've got to root for this now.
I'll say you're rooting for me to get interviewed on
the
on the Channel 7 News.
Oh my God. Could you imagine? We're getting a live reaction from Ravi Lulla, Millard North alum.
Where did he get a bottle of champagne? What's he doing out there?
It was always the Stangs. It was always Millard North.
That might get you into the Hall of Fame.
Yo, let's go. Let's get in the Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame telecast.
Local man tears down goalpost.
Then
just up there with a cigar.
Yes.
How'd how'd you get up there? I don't know.
I'm smoking that Patriot pack is what I'm on.
It's like the scene in 22 Jump Street when the guy keeps trying to tackle the goalpost to bring it down. That's going to be Ravi.
I'm going to be honest. If you do that, I don't think we're getting Trey on the show again.
Probably not. No. Or Coach Mendenhall, for that matter. That might be tough.
Just going to wear a T-shirt that says, Trey, welcome to the Metro.
Final score.
Welcome to hell, baby.
Wow.
No, I'll be very respectful, as always.
Yeah.
As
always.
That's what people know me for, being respectful, right?
Sure.
That's what our next guest knows me for.
Well, it's going to be a minute. 9-10 is what he said.
Yeah, he said let people know it's going to be 9-10.
9-10.
For DB.
Yeah.
So we will wait patiently.
Oh, I would have waited to play the music. I didn't know.
No, it's okay.
No,
You
we're
didn't know.
going to take a break still. It's okay. Don't worry about it. We'll just
Shane,
come
you're doing
back.
a great job.
You're killing it today, Shane. We appreciate it.
Will that get me into the Hall of Fame?
Not the Millard North one. Maybe your high school. I'm not sure. I don't know what their criteria are, Shane.
It's a short list.
What high school did you go to? Oh, short list. That's funny.
Norwalk, Iowa.
Oh.
Big Norwalk guy.
New York in it?
No, that's you.
All right, go to break.
He's the only person, surely, in college football that's played fullback and receiver, and done that multiple times in one game. I think it's a testament to him as a football player. He is a football player. You really don't label him with a position. He works with me a lot because of what we ask him to do from a physical standpoint. It's a little bit more than a true wide receiver. So he still does everything, but, he can line up and play fullback. He can play tight end. He can play the wing. He can play out in the slot. He just kind of does a little bit of everything for us as an experienced football player, very, smart football player. And you match that up with the physicality that he plays with. We're looking for some really good things from Wood.
Your schedule is filling up. Get back to busy at Edwards Kia. Lease the 2027 Kia Seltos S starting at just $269 a month. Ready for every run on the calendar. 2 great leases, 1 less thing to worry about. We've also got the 2026 Kia Sportage EX starting at $249 a month. Don't wait. Get back to busy this August at Edwards Kia.
When you look at their non-conference schedule, you see NFL venues, MLB venues, NHL venues, WNBA. Do you think this could be the biggest year for college volleyball?
I think so. And the fact that, and a lot of these are playing for money. I mean, they're going to get money for going to these events. So that just shows you how much college volleyball is elevated and is growing right now. And, The only way that they're able to offer that money is because they think they got TV contracts that are, helping to pay for that, and sponsorships in those cities, in those arenas or venues that they're playing in. But I'm going to go back. The stadium match started all this, and now you're seeing this. Everybody wants, look, they got 92,003. Let's see what we can get in some of these places. But I think it'll be pretty cool. I think it's going to be really hard to keep players focused and perform. I'm worried about Wrigley, the weather. That's going to be interesting. The other ones should be better, but also I think some of those are going to feel like this is a national championship match. Like going to Vegas for $1 million playing against Texas, that's going to feel like a national championship setting. So it's exciting. It's great. It's going to get people talking more about volleyball.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
I mean, it's for me. It's like I said in the spring. This is the most talented room I've had. So they push each other each and every single day, and I think keeping them together is my biggest challenge because there's only one guy that's really going to be out there getting the ball. So like the competition part of it has been paramount as far as guys getting better at they need to get better at. Like there's not much room for error. So you're going to get 1 or 2 reps to get things corrected. You know what I mean? So the urgency on getting better every day in practice, the urgency of attacking each rep is really important.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Male Medical. That's Austin. I'm Ravi here at Hurrdat Sports HQ, reminding you to make sure you get out to unionomaha.com and get tickets to this Saturday's match against the New York Cosmos. It is Hometown Heroes Night presented by Woodman Life at 7 p.m. at Morrison Stadium. You can get your tickets at unionomaha.com. It'll be a great time. And listen, it's week 0. Nebraska doesn't play. You can get out, watch some European football, have a good time.
We love European football.
We love European football.
Unless American football's on.
Well, sometimes you need a little break.
We do. You do need to switch it up every once in a while.
Every once in a while, you got to switch it up a little bit.
You do.
It's
honestly
it's
a good
volleyball,
and also getting
soccer.
it live too. It's a good refresher, right?
It is.
Yeah.
And Morrison's a great facility. It's a great place to watch soccer games.
It is. Yeah.
I will say I love their time at Werner Park, but Morrison is a much better soccer watching experience. Yeah, it's a much better soccer watching experience.
Yeah.
Speaking of watching things other than football, so last night. And I promise I won't talk about this part of it for too long. It's leading to a different question. But last night, so the U.S. Open is the U.S. Open is about to start in New York, and so they do this whole sort of week leading up to it of different events and stuff like that. And the one last night was an exhibition match between Roger Federer and Andy Roddick, 2 of my favorite tennis players of all time. So I was very tuned into this. Right, I understand I'm in the minority of our audience in that sense, but
as a tennis fan.
Yeah, just of somebody that was I recorded it. I was very excited about this. But it reminded me of these old timer games that they used to do at are you not aware of these?
No, what are you talking about?
The Yankees used to do old timer games. They'd run out 50-year-old and they'd play a game at Yankee Stadium.
They still do that.
Do they still do the old timer game?
Yeah.
So I thought they had stopped for a while because somebody got horribly injured, as is expected when you drop 50 and 60
I don't think they have the old guys out there.
Yes.
And I don't know how hard they go, but they still play it.
I think it's isn't it a softball game now?
I'm not 100% sure.
I thought maybe
softball safer?
I thought I don't know. You got older people that play softball. I don't know. But I thought they had changed it up at some point. But my point is, so this used to be a very popular thing, is old timer games, stuff like that. And I'm curious if there is either a sport or an athlete that you would just be for me last night was appointment television, right? Is there somebody if they trotted them out there, you'd be oh hell yeah, I am 100% dialed in and watching.
So
this.
I watch them as they are now.
Yes,
right?
they're in their current age.
I mean, this is just pros versus Joes, is it not? That's what I want to see.
Well, I know it's pros versus pros, though.
Yeah.
It's old pros versus old pros.
If it's football, it has to be 7-on-7. I don't want to see people get.
Yeah, I don't need any of that.
I don't need people getting broken in half or anything like that. Oh, geez, that's tough.
Like, I'll be honest,
A retired athlete. I would love, actually, you know what would be really fun is to watch them have some sort of charity game where it is, olds on olds, and then just to have Calvin Johnson go out in the middle of like all these 70-year-olds who are all the Hall of Famers and just be mossing people back and forth. I'd love to see that. I think that'd be very funny. Now, he would never do it, but it would be great just to watch him.
It would be incredible.
Just dominate these 70-year-old cornerbacks.
The one that immediately came to mind is if Michael Jordan played anyone in one-on-one, I'm just in.
Oh, yeah.
I'm 100% in.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Like, I don't know who his opponent would be.
I don't think he would do that.
Like a contemporary.
Yeah.
But I'm just 100% in immediately.
Basketball is probably the easiest translation, right?
Yes. So tennis is pretty easy because you can do doubles. You can do some things to kind of mitigate the athletic loss there. Golf is very easy. Obviously.
I'd watch Shaq on anything.
That was going to be my pick. Or
do I want to watch Shaq play basketball though, or do I want to watch Shaq do something else?
No, I want to watch Shaq do it all. I want Shaq.
I just want Shaq to post up like this version of Biggs.
Oh, you want him to play current pros?
Yeah, like I want.
Like you want him to put.
I still think he could.
You want him to put like Jokic under the basket?
Yeah, yes. That would be. I'm actually for
he
that.
Talks
That'd
a big
be a lot of fun.
and the part of it is he talks a big game all the time.
Yeah, that'd be very fun. I think I'm for that.
Defense don't win championship.
Yeah. Except for Shaq.
Shaq's a good one. Shaq versus
Larry Bird can still shoot because I would just want Larry Bird in a 3-point contest.
I would watch Larry Bird versus like Steph Curry in a 3-point contest.
Yeah, like just shooting, not like
Yeah, give me like Larry Bird, Reggie Miller, Ray Allen, Steph Curry. I'd do that.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I would do that in a heartbeat.
That'd be appointment television right there.
100%.
They should change that for the All-Star game. Just do that instead.
Yeah. Just get rid of all the other nonsense.
Actually, you know what? I would rather see that grouping of exactly who you just said.
Mm-hmm.
And if Larry's not able to go, then just keep whatever the other 4 were.
Yeah.
And then have 4 of like up and coming or first or second year NBA players do 3-point contests between those. And a real 3-point contest. Like each of you get to strategically pick who is at which position, and they just fire up as many threes from the, cage or whatever as they can.
Yeah.
And you watch them make. I think that'd be cool. So you could watch literally the newest generation and the best shooters in history.
You know what?
I would just have those guys play knockout.
Knockout would be cool.
Knockout would be cool. The other thing that I've wanted them to do at the All-Star game is just do a giant 3-on-3 tournament and have that be for like entry into to be the Olympic 3-on-3 team.
That'd be cool.
Like, you know how much cooler, and listen, this is no offense to the guys that play 3-on-3 for the US team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the men can have NBA players. The women can have I don't think the men's team can.
That's a stupid rule. So let's change
really
that.
Why
That's
is
an idiotic rule.
Because because the men's team doesn't have NBA players, but the women's team had like.
Well, so I don't think it's a rule they can't. I think because of the way the organization is set up, the NBA players do not have time to like run the circuit. Is the way I understood it.
Yeah.
Like there is a 3-on-3 circuit you have to run to qualify. And
I have a friend who plays on those.
Is it was Dylan?
Malik Huluchweki.
Oh, yeah.
Malik Huluchweki?
Yeah.
From Emporia State?
Yeah. From Bowling Green?
I would say Bowling Green, great.
Bellevue West legend? Yeah.
Yeah, we love Malik Huluchweki.
We're going to stick with Bowling Green, not Bellevue West.
That's fine.
Okay.
No, there's another local guy here. Dylan, I think it's Dylan. He made the Olympic team this year, and I think he's from Ralston, or maybe he's at Ralston now as a teacher. I don't remember. Dylan Travis. Does that sound right?
I'm looking it up. Dylan Travis, yes. Look at you go.
Nailed it.
Let's look up where Dylan Travis is from. Dylan Travis.
He's from here. I have a buddy that knew him growing up, but
he's born in Omaha. He went to Gross Catholic.
Gross, okay.
Yeah.
And then I think he
played at Midland.
I thought he coached at Ralston or something for a while. I could be wrong. But like I would much rather say, and this is no offense to Malik or Dylan or any of those guys who are very, very good basketball players. Like you can't tell me if you got like Curry, LeBron, and KD in the Olympics.
I'd rather see that. Yes.
Yeah, everybody
100%.
would. Everybody would.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Every person on the planet would rather see that.
Yeah, no doubt.
And those guys could do that until they were 50.
Mm-hmm.
Which
would be fun.
Just be incredible.
Yeah. I mean, LeBron is actually going to prove your point here soon.
Yeah, he's just going to play in the NBA until he's 50.
Yeah.
But like Curry, LeBron, and KD or whoever, right? Like that grouping of people, just like, yeah, you're done in the NBA. Now go run the 3-on-3 circuit and just wreck shop.
Yeah.
In the Olympic 3-on-3 would be unbelievable.
Yeah, the three Jameses. Once his youngest actually comes through too, they're playing the 3-on-3. That'd be fun.
It's Bronny and Bryce and LeBron just running the 3-on-3 circuit.
LeBron's like, clear the lane. I'm coming.
That's funny. Let's take a quick break here. I do believe DB should be joining us here any minute. That's Austin. I'm Ravi. We will be right back on Hurrdat Sports Live.
Yeah, so like I would say, this is like football family with Coach Rule. I worked for him at Temple, Coach Sat, Coach Snow, Coach Foley. So just a lot of familiar faces there. And I consider those guys part of my football family. And then just a chance to come to a historic place like Nebraska was also huge for me and my family. My role is I'm run game coordinator, but I do most of my time is spent with the offensive line, working with Jeep and the offensive line. Yeah, so going back to the Temple days, I met Jeep in 2014 through Coach Rule and Sat. So ever since we met, we've kept in touch, and we always we keep in touch every offseason. We used to recruit against each other and things like that. So we've been friends for a number of years.
Your schedule is filling up. Get back to busy at Edwards Kia. Lease the 2027 Kia Seltos S starting at just $269 a month. Ready for every run on the calendar. 2 great leases, 1 less thing to worry about. We've also got the 2026 Kia Sportage EX starting at $249 a month. Don't wait. Get back to busy this August at Edwards Kia.
What's wrong?
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
We're just gonna put me on camera without any heads up or anything like that. That's what we're doing now.
Yeah.
There's no title screen or anything like that, like there is every other goddamn time we come back from break.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports
That's
Live.
what we're doing. We've got DB here. He's familiar.
I don't know
with,
if we do though. Oh, there
he is.
Thank goodness. Okay.
We've got the director of player development, old DB. I don't know him as anything else.
I'd call him a young DB, but
the
that's just
director
me.
of player development. DB, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, whatever fits, man.
We can't hear you.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Am I
Hey,
good?
where's his volume? Oh
Good.
no. Oh,
I heard you there for a second.
Heard a touch. Heard a touch. Is it us? Is it our internet, Shane?
No, you can try it there.
Oh, jeez. This is tough. See, now DB, he's feeling the pressure from the other side. This is tough. His
mic's muted on his side.
They can hear him on the stream.
Oh, it says
we just can't
it says
hear
he's
him.
muted now.
How we doing?
There he
There he is.
Damon. Hello.
Yes. We're having, just the normal technical difficulties that we always did. So we're having a good time.
I'll come back and I'll start again.
Oh, you're
No,
good. You're
I
good
think
now.
you're good now.
You're
We
good
can
now.
hear you.
You're good now.
Oh, okay. All right,
Yeah.
well, then let's roll.
DB, how is you? What were we, 3 weeks on the new job? How's it been going?
It's good. It's good, man. It's been a ton. It's fast. As you guys know, Ravi, you probably better than anybody, other than the people that were at the university, happened pretty fast. So I didn't even get a chance to say goodbye to Shane. So goodbye, Shane.
He didn't even hear you. He left.
No, he did. Oh my God, he did.
But it has been a ton. The role has. I knew when I first saw the job description and they kind of wrote it up different from the previous role, I was going to have my work cut out, but it's even expanded since then. So I think that's a good thing. I like the competitiveness. I like direction. Believe it or not, I like structure. And so this kind of fits. It's been a little bit of everything. I've done everything from, I've led a couple of individual player room meetings to, take guys to the airport in Omaha that had to go home, to check on guys' classes, to, today at 2, as I look at our staff notes, I guess I'm opening up the team meeting, talking about the media. So, I mean, listen, I enjoy it because it's fast paced. It's long and it's tough, but I think at this stage in my life, getting a new challenge has been pretty good.
I thought I was challenging enough for you every day. No, I'm just
no, that's definitely true. There's
Damon, if you're leading the media training, do you have a photo of Ravi that just says ignore, or what do you have up there?
So that's been interesting because I think getting guys to be their authentic self isn't just like a media thing. What it's spilled over into is it's performance based as well. We've got a heck of a team psychologist in Dr. Cooper, and I've learned a ton. My office is right next to his. When Coach Rule and Dr. Elza and those guys said ground zero, it's truly ground zero. I'm the first office you see when the guys come in. Dr. Cooper's next to me. The strength and conditioning staff is to my left, and Kristen is on the corner. So, like, this is the area where we try to make it happen. And so from you take something like talking to the media or being comfortable or handling things that may make you feel a certain way, and you have to respond differently, right? The whole emotions without being emotional thing. It's fascinating how it trickles into performance too. And this staff has been really, really intentional. One of the things that made this go around exciting, right? Because you guys know some other coaches have intimated this position, hey, we'd love to bring you down, be a part of the program. Coach Rule and I have talked about this for a couple of years. For me, the timing wasn't always great. I think this time was pee or get off the pot for myself. So I like being a part of the intentionality of trying to figure out how to get over the hump in critical situations and what happens leading up to and during those situations that don't allow for peak performance. And so you can tell this offseason it has been about brotherhood, camaraderie, I think grit. I think Coach Rule has done. I knew he was bright, like that's not a new thing. But one of the things that I can appreciate is his ability. He's really self-aware. So to go back and reflect, right? He talks a lot about winning moments, like winning moments, a 50-50 ball, a 3rd and 6, a stop in the red zone. For him, it may be a situational timeout or to kick a field goal or to go for it. Like the ability to take the mirror and look inward and say, hey, listen, this is where we need to get better. This is how I think we can get better. And then see the intentionality that's been birthed from it. It's not cool is like, a little kid's word that probably doesn't do it justice. It's fascinating and it's exciting to be a part of because he's left no stone unturned. He's left absolutely no stone unturned from, revenue generating to some really tough, gritty, hard sit downs with finances and talking with our athletic director and getting a chance to be around Troy Dan and so much more. Like there's so much more than meets the eye. I always thought we were always wrong in the media and but now more so than ever, I think it's really important to kind of slow down and assess the information. I think now more than ever, it's more important to get it right than to be right, especially the closer I am to this.
So, DB, I'm glad you brought that up because I think most people understand, like you had a level of access prior to this job that maybe not a lot of people did. But now that you're inside the walls and inside the building, like how much, I guess, how much different do you feel about the watching everything, the process of everything playing out? And I guess, does it change how you feel about the direction of the program, knowing exactly how the sausage is made, as opposed to just kind of, you talk about being in the kitchen versus maybe just seeing through that window, that some restaurants have? Like, how much has that changed how you view the program and its current state?
That's a fantastic question. It's made me, believe it or not, I am significantly more passionate about the program on whatever today is, August 26th, than maybe at any point since I've played. I can see the vision. I can see the passion. I can see the intentionality, right? It's not perfect. And I love it, just fits my personality trying to be part of the solution, especially as a guy that's made so many mistakes, that has figured out a way to function at an optimum level of performance, whether it's, my day-to-day, the personal life, the job situation. I love being a part of that. And I think the way that and this athletic department has structured the staff, I go back to the way that Coach Campbell, that Corey did summer workouts and putting people in really difficult situations and finishing and maximizing, and then understanding how to manage what the public would perceive as a failure, right? And to come out of the back end, the studies and the detailed analytics on past performance, right? What hasn't worked so well? What has worked well? How do we take that information and make it really practical and portable for this 2026 team? I haven't been, I don't think, more excited. Some of the personalities that I've had a chance to get a chance, or get a chance to get a chance. Well done, DB. That I've had a chance to get acclimated with. Like, I can see what happens with play. Like, there's a direct correlation. And I think that's where my experience of coaching, 21 years or whatever at the high school level with young people has really served me well in this role, because I understand performance anxiety. I understand bringing things to the table that aren't football related that you maybe have to parse through. I understand the correlation between not wanting to maybe face the music or be the first one to stand up in team meetings in an awkward setting, and how that may correlate to being in the moment in fourth quarters. Like, all those things about personality traits and people are fascinating to me. So I've probably never been more excited and optimistic about being a part of something that I think truly has a chance.
DB, when you're talking about all that sort of stuff, the term that comes to my mind right away is maturity. But I think we assume maturity comes with age naturally. But a lot of times maturity is something that you develop almost naturally, right? Like it just comes over time. Is it something that inside, now that you're with the program, that you've noticed that maturity is something that's actually being worked on? It's not just something that is just hoping to kind of grow with the team and with the individuals.
Yeah, it's very intentional. Again, another good question where from being on time, like, what does it mean? Like, when we go through like our 7 core disciplines, right? One of them is being early. Like, what does being early really mean? What does it mean to be coachable, right? Sometimes being coachable isn't, hey man, pad level and heavy hands and pad striking, versus when you're playing in a 3 technique. Sometimes being coachable is being in meetings and saying, hey, listen, we're gonna grade our own scrimmage film. This is kind of the criteria. I want you to be open and honest about your performance. This number probably means a 6-7 win season. This number probably means we're playing at an elite level. This number probably means we've got a chance to be in the college football playoff role. So when players are able to critique themselves and be open about the performance and what they're putting on tape, that's part of maturity. Maturity, Austin, is, hey, there isn't mandatory in parentheses on this part of the schedule, but you need to be here. What is mandatory without saying it's mandatory mean. That means that you've got to be accountable. If the schedule got pushed back because we had an 8 o'clock practice and you maybe have until 9 o'clock the next day before breakfast starts, but before that block is treatment and weigh in and hydration tests. Maturity is not waiting till 8:51 and then saying you had to rush, right? So it comes in all shapes and forms in terms of growth. And one of the things that I think is fascinating about this team that I've always talked about with you guys and on the show, when I would talk about how critical this year is because Nebraska has a chance to finally be an old team, I can see the maturation, right? I can see Owen Stoutmeyer and Riley Van Poppel spend time together as a couple of old heads, right? That have spun the block, as the kids like to say. Then invest in young defensive line talent like a Whittington or a Tyson Terry or a Dylan Barrymore, something like that, where that maturation process and those older guys allows them to pour into the younger guys. Because I'm not even going to pull any punches. Like, that's how this program has to win, right? The expectation level that young guys come in and play early and they have this splash success, like, that's not the way to win in this league. It is ridiculously good. We're not supposed to really mention what game week it is, because technically we're still in training camp mode. And when install starts for the first opponent, maturation is handling what happens during that install period. What happens the first time we start talking about opponent one out loud and we start game planning to transition from getting out of training camp, which will go all the way through until tomorrow night before we start actual install for opponent one. Part of that is maturation. The whole been there, done that thing doesn't really fly because it hasn't yielded the success that they've wanted it to have up until this point. So where can I be accountable and how can I be accountable in changing past outcomes so they don't dictate the future? Because it's not about what was done then. It's about where you're trying to go. And the ability to flush that, but learn from it, is where the real maturity for this team in 2026 is, I think, going to happen.
DB, you mentioned there about older guys in the rooms and mentoring and kind of bringing guys along and things like that. It reminds me of something that you have said a lot over the years, talking about when you can root for one another when it might be at your own expense. That's where the real magic happens. My question is, I've thought a lot about that, especially while I'm watching the running backs and EJ Barthel talk yesterday in the press conferences.
Were you not proud of my guy, Mackay?
I was very proud of him. I thought he did a really good job. I was really impressed with you talk about being comfortable being yourself, Jamal Rule. I was really impressed with him as well. But it got me thinking about, because you always used it in reference to your running back room when you played, right? Like, that was a super talented room. Any of those guys could have started. But if Amon's getting carries, you're rooting for Amon. If LP's getting carries, you're rooting for LP. My question is, like, on a team like that, you're going to achieve a certain level of success, right? Like, that was what that program, that
does
program
make
was
it a
at.
lot easier.
So that was my question, right? Like, is it harder when there's almost a scarcity mindset? Like you could say, hey, I may not start, but like, I'm probably going to get 10 carries in the second half because we're going to be up by 4 touchdowns, right? Or I'm going to get a chance in the NFL anyway. Because
if I didn't play until the second half, I was pissed. So let's just nip that in the bud.
Okay, fair enough. But you knew there were going to be opportunities, whether it was second quarter, second half, whatever. You knew because of what the score was going to be, there was likely going to be opportunities for you, even if you weren't starting, right? And you knew at the end of the season, the end of the career, whatever, you were probably going to get opportunities that guys from less successful programs weren't going to get because you get the benefit of the doubt of being a Nebraska Cornhusker. How much harder is it now when Nebraska's not at that place anymore to get guys to that place? Because it's sort of a chicken or an egg thing, right? Like, yes, it's easier to root for one another when there's more to go around, but there might not be more to go around until you start rooting for each other.
Yeah, so I think that's where the non-negotiables in the room start. Like, you've heard me talk about that maybe since you've known me. I think for each position group, you start with non-negotiables. What are the standards that have to happen in this room to even be a part of this room? And if you're not hitting those non-negotiables, then you can't be a part of what we're doing. So I think the chicken or the egg part really starts for what the demand is in that room. And I'll use the running back room, for example, just because that's the first meeting room that I was asked to be a part of a couple of weeks ago. And they talk a lot about running back U and being a part of the University of Nebraska and this whole greater good. And it can't be, I'm big into making words a lifestyle because a lot of times guys can use slogans and they can have their acronyms. But until it truly becomes a lifestyle, like what does it mean if I tell a kid, if I say, hey, listen, integrity is different than honesty. Integrity it's keeping your word even after your feelings have changed, right? So if your commitment is to that room and your feelings have changed about your situation, there's still a standard that you have to uphold, right? That's something that I've had to apply, making so many mistakes in my personal life. It's one of those practical application things that you have to really drill into. Even though my feelings have changed, can I still make the commitment to do what I said that I was going to do? That's actually where it starts. You look at the skill sets in that room, there's a wider range. You look at a guy like Mackay, and it's like, he's the guy that if he has a 4-yard gain, you're like, oh man, like, because you always think, you watch him practice, like you always think he's going to score. You look at Jamal, he's so smooth to the hole. And he's the guy where you're thinking to yourself, God, he'd kind of be a headache to deal with all the time because he's the same in his second carry as he is like the 14th. You look at a guy like Mosey, who you really don't want to deal with him in space. He's a tremendous pass catcher. He knows everything, so he can play in a lot of different places. You look at a guy like Ives, who, if I could pick a guy whose body type I would want, if I was going to emulate, and it's not just because he wears 21, he looks better in it than I did, but like Ives' frame is unbelievable. We had a deal, I get to be part of this cool thing with 2 other coaches on staff where we get to highlight some guys. We get to watch tape and film, and there's a standard that has to be hit. But once they hit that standard, like there's rewards in it. And we were doing a deal last week where we were counting knockdowns. How many knockdowns can we get? There's a certain number that we're after. And Ives won the knockdowns, whether it was pass pro, whether it was making a guy miss and he falls, whether it was trucking a guy. Like Ives won the knockdowns. And I think that's impressive. And he needs that fuel because he has to understand what his role is. Vince Genatone, I pull him to the side all the time. I'm like, Vince is used to playing on scout team. And one of the things I noticed with Vince is, especially now that like all these guys are in the mix for specialty roles, I'm like, Vince, I know you're used to, hey, those guys make contact. You're kind of looking to get down maybe or to protect yourself. I said, you are explosive. You're fast. You're a tremendous leaper. I said, don't hope to come out of the back end of some of this traffic. Expect to come out of the back end. When you split that thing, it's pay dirt because nobody expects those kinds of things. And so that can be his role. He's a devastating pass blocker. Like that can be his role. So when you're looking at guys in the room, number one, the room comes first. It's a position thing. It's not a you thing. It's a position thing. I think the wide receiver group is another outstanding room to understand that. Listen, Cortez Mills has different skills than Ja'Cory Barney. Zay Hunter is different than Quasi. Quentin Clark may be the unicorn, but he still has a particular skill set. So how do they all fit? If I'm in the tight ends room and I look at Luke Lindemeyer and he's pretty polished, and Caden Echternock looks at him and he's like, man, Luke's trim fit. He's down. I look at Echternock's body. He looks like a new person. He's still running high 4.5s. The standard was set by Lindemeyer. if I'm Carter Nelson and I'm in that room and I'm kind of the hybrid and I'm looking at Wood or Bonner and Luke and Ingerson and Echternock, and I'm thinking, what's the role? I'm pretty athletic. I'm really good in space. I can high point balls. What do I need to work on that these other guys are working on that makes them complete? Hey, how is Danny King making special teams? Like, what is he doing? When iron starts to sharpen iron in those particular rooms, you don't really worry about the outcome because you're so in love with the process. When that becomes the lifestyle, you can nip all that other stuff in the bud.
DB, I want to stay kind of in the running back room here for a second because
why I have so much more range than running back. I'm totally joking.
It's less about a football thing and more about your current role, but the running backs are a good example here. Obviously, when you were part of the media, I know that you had some frustrations about sometimes the way other media members would process things or information that would get put out there that either wasn't accurate or partially accurate or whatever. I think the running back room is a really good example of kind of an example of this, right? Like obviously Mekhi Nelson had a very high profile incident over the offseason and is still a part of this football team.
Right.
Tyke Hayes didn't have a TMZ report or anything like that, and he's not a part of this football team. It's very interesting to me what information gets out, what information doesn't get out, what gets reported nationally, what doesn't get reported nationally. Like as on the other side of it now, being fully internal in the program instead of on the media side of things, like do you have a better understanding, the same understanding of why the university is protective about information the way it is? Because I think a lot of times from the media side of things, we're like, well, why can't you just tell us what happened?
Good question. And I don't say like I'm trained well enough to say not good question to buy myself time. I said good question because I think it's fascinating where listen, somebody may have a good relationship with like a contract lawyer and they have access to message boards and so that's how they get their information or somebody may have a really good relationship with a donor and they may have access to some information. Players a lot of times talk to their parents and they disseminate information. I think the university is well aware of that. Like if I'm aware of it, clearly they're aware of it. So I think controlling the message is more important now than ever. And it's not because you're playing dodgeball with misinformation or partially accurate information or people wanting to be first or whatever that is, because you can't be distracted by that. What's critical is, and hear me when I say this, our psychologist gave a beautiful example and he used the Odyssey. So he had like Ed Hello, right? And he talked about how Odysseus, when they went through the islands and then they knew that they were going to face the sirens, like what do sirens represent? Sirens can be anything. Sometimes it's social media, sometimes it's women, sometimes it's your academics, sometimes it's family. And there's a depiction in the Odyssey where he had made the beeswax to put in his crew's ears and they anchored him to the mast. So regardless of what he said, they could not receive his instructions. And so I tell our guys with information like that, don't be myopic and say, oh, don't listen to it. It's everywhere. What you have to do is anchor closer to the source. Doesn't matter what's on the boards or on social media or on IG. Anchor closer to the source. Just like Odysseus chained himself to the mast, and that boat was not going to be steered into the rocks. Anchor down with this football team. Become closer to the source. That's your guys. Listen, they're not any different than, hey, don't touch the stove, you touch the stove, or hey, stay in your seat, then you get up and go watch, or me, where it's like, we're going to keep the room at 70. No, I want it at 68. Like people's natural inclination is to gravitate towards stuff like that. That's just human nature. But what we can do is you don't have to fall victim to it. Just stay closer to the source. The old heads, a lot of my guys, our guys, myself included, when we talk about yesteryear, one of the things we were really good at, with all the distractions and the tomfoolery and nonsense that was going on, we stayed up really connected to the power source. And the power source was that football team. And that's what we're trying to teach these guys right now. The information that's out there and wanting to be guarded, I see it. Like, I know people get frustrated sometimes, I think, with some of the answers in the press conferences. But that's just people learning from the past and not really repeating it. And so until there's a level of I think sentiment that we can handle the information, you just do as little as you do as most as you can to give as little of information as possible. And I think you just make it about football. It's like one of the 10 commandments that we talk about as a staff. If it doesn't have anything to do with winning on Saturdays, then prioritize it someplace else. Like it can't be a part. And that could be a game plan. It could be how I spend my free time. It could be anything that does not have to do with functioning at a high level on Saturdays. You better figure out how to flush it. And that's just part of it.
DB, I know, to go back to kind of what Ravi was asking before about just the competitiveness in a room, rooting for each other and everything. And I want to take this outside of just the running back room, because I think that this is speaking, as the media person here on this side of the desk, there are a lot of great talent and depth across the roster. When you're in those rooms and in the position battles that guys are going through, whether it's for starting spots or just for, repetitions and that sort of thing, does it take one person in the room to be the leader to say it's all for one, not one for all? Or does it just come up naturally through conversation? Is that the guys that are already in the room and their demeanor when they're recruited? How does that come about when you've kind of been just around the program?
So I think a lot of it is the guys have a pretty good sentiment by how they attack their day to day. We do a lot of, this is one thing I've really learned. We did a lot of speculating from the outside, but inside the guys know there's very little, at least up to this point. I don't know how it was previous to me being here, but there's very little guesswork in terms of the upper crust. Now, you have some highly competitive positions, and it may be like, okay, who's gonna be, the Reds the next in at like 3 or 4, right? If I can play 5D tackles, how does that work with my 4th and 5th, right? If I think I understand my top 3, I like 2 or 3 of my edges. Like, okay, who's next? Because there's this really cool thing that I watch happen with this staff, and in particular, Coach Rule, how he has firmly set the tone that winning right now matters. We have yet to mention opponent number 1 by name, but we've watched. We know that opponent number 1 played in Piscataway really, really tough. We know that opponent number 1 played for a team that beat the starting quarterback, at least as the if we started tomorrow, the starting quarterback, he beat them in the bowl game, right? So I can hear AC say, and listen, opponent number 1 got us. Like, you better bring it, right? Nobody in this day and age fears anybody. We respect all. We fear no one. And that includes opponent number 1. So there's the immediacy of that. But don't get it twisted that they understand fully from a development standpoint, which is one of the cool things I think they've really, really grown in, is how to play the long game. Hey, this player may not be ready for game 1, 2, maybe even 3. But if we want to be the team that we want to be in November, these are guys that you have to get ready. It is fascinating. One of the coolest things ever was, and this is so Coach Rule, it's not even funny. It's super late, and you never know where the conversations are going to go. But he and I are talking about practice structure in yesteryear. And now keep in mind the numbers are he's short about 70 guys, realistically. Like if we're being honest, from what we used to be able to do to what they're capable of doing now. They have a hard 105, right? So I don't know this at the time, so I'll land the plane at the end. So we're talking about all these processes, and he's asking me very specific questions. Hey, so when you transition, the number of plays per period, what about the scouts? Did they swap? Did they rotate? And listen, this is a long conversation, and I have no idea what he's getting at, right? Because what he's really good at, for as much as we talk, when he doesn't want to talk to me, he doesn't want to talk to me, right? So there'll be no conversation. So a couple of days go, actually it was last week. So yesterday rolls around and we're in staff meeting and we're going through the setup. And I have no idea, he's talking very fast in the meetings and I can't visualize what he's saying, but I'm kind of a nobody. I'm not a nobody, but right. I can't impact the practice structure, right? I'm listening and I like being in those meetings and I like having access to plays because I know when I watch guys, how it correlates to what they say when they're sitting in front of me in my office, right? So all of a sudden I see these two new stations and he's like, hey, we talked about this in the meeting. Tempo, I want multiple reps. In his head, I don't know how he did it. Given the numbers, he found a way to structure practice, getting maximum number of reps with rotations and who stays on what field and who moves to simulate as best he could the number of stations that we used to rep so guys could get multiple reps. It looked to the naked eye like utter chaos. I said, because I'd never seen it before. And I'm like, what is going on with the flip-flopping? Because usually it's very, hey, this group here. And to watch it by the end and to see the amount of the reps that guys got, I'm like, this son of a gun just tinkered with the numbers. He kept that group the same with this group versus this group, and he rotated those guys to give the same look. All from a conversation that we had a week ago, right? Like those are the kinds of things that I'm fascinated by that he does, because there's this perception. Well, let me put it to you this way: there's a difference between being challenging to work for and being hard to work for. The challenge in working with Coach Rule is you have to be flexible and you have to put in the time, right? Like if you're not trying to figure out solutions, you just can't be a part of what's going on. And so that part, you have to be on all the time, right? All of a sudden I'm presenting today at 2:00. I didn't know until yesterday at 5:30. And if you think I know how to do PowerPoints, you're crazy. So
you should hire Rico.
Listen, you know what they finally got me to do?
What?
Your boy is going to be an Apple iPhone user.
Let's go! Yeah!
The group chat's been saved.
I thought you were going to say they got you to put stuff in the fridge.
Dr. Elza chastised me one more time for something I'm not able to do because I don't have an iPhone. You guys, you know how I am. Like, I want to fix things. I can't take it. I'm like, but I don't have the stones yet to say, hey, can I have a couple hours to go get my phone fixed? So I called my guy who's at the store to have this thing set up. And I said, listen, I don't know poop from Shinola. I want you to lock this thing up in the cloud. I don't want to have to lose anything on this Android. Download it, be as quick as possible. But like, we have got to do this on the fly because your boy doesn't get Sundays off anymore. So between that, not knowing when I can cut my hair, those are the only two dilemmas that I've been facing.
DB, to be fair, the last time that you did go get your phone fixed, you got a new job. So maybe they're a little bit worried about that.
Are you coming?
Did I tell you that story? I think it's safe to tell this story now.
You told me.
Hey. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna keep it pushing. So I couldn't read my screen that day.
Yeah.
Right. And I made the appointment and I was waiting for the background check. So every day, like I would get another check mark, like because you can see it happening.
Mhm.
So my phone screen broke. I wanted it to be good in case I wanted to, because I'm like a free agent. So I wanted my screen fixed and I couldn't really read. So I dropped the phone off at, what was that, Ravi, 9:30?
Yeah.
So I didn't have it until 10:40. And 10:40 that day, I saw the 9:33 text. It's like, hey, background check, we're good to go. Can you start today? No, when can you be here? Can you start today?
Mm-hmm.
It's 10:40 on Friday. I didn't have my phone, but I certainly wasn't going to give any excuses.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing I did in a state of panic was I called and I was like, hey, and there was no hello, no nothing. It's like, look, buddy, I need your ass on speed dial. We're connected at the hip now. Let's be quicker. I started to turn around and go home. But I needed a job. Yeah, man, it's tough, but I enjoy it. That's a real.
No, I know. I saw this play out in real time.
That was real, man. Your boy was in Lincoln by 1:00 that Friday, and sure as I'm sitting here, I'm doing a walk and talk on Saturday.
Yep. Yeah, DB, can I ask you behind the scenes? I have a question just about your walk and talks, because I'm used to you doing some of that sort of stuff, just from the show and everything. But does someone pull you aside, or do you do you have a personal cameraman that you're like, hey, I've got something to say today? Or how does that work?
You're not even going to believe me. How do you think I function, AJ?
I think you have a nice set of producers that follow you around, and every time that you need something, they just come and help you out when you can.
I wish. I don't have that kind of stroke. You want to know how it really goes?
Can I guess?
Yes. Go ahead, Ravi.
I think whenever Rule wants you to do it, he comes and grabs you and says, hey, go do this thing.
That's 100%. That's 100% accurate. Look at the look on my face. And do you know what parameters I'm working on?
None.
This is the theme. Figure it out.
That's great. That's great. No, that's incredible.
See, I feel like I've been preparing you for these last 3 years on being able to talk, having no idea what we're going to talk about.
Hey, I grabbed Makai because Coach Rule wanted to talk about gratitude and being a good teammate. So, and I went out on a limb. Like Makai he's changing. He's coming out of the cold tank. He's trying to buy 30 minutes. I don't know. I think he was waiting for lunch, and I was like, look, man, I got a really good idea. I don't know what I'm going to say, but just go with this, okay? He's looking at me like I'm speaking Portuguese. So our videographer, who is unbelievable, that crew is so talented. Steven Gonzalez, they're so talented. It's unbelievable. Like they can polish a turd. I'm serious. And so I messaged Steven after practice, and he's like, "Up, already way ahead of you. I talked to Coach Rule." And I was like, "Huh? Like, how am I last?" But he figures, and you guys know this. That's how that's the only way you're gonna get like the real me, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, don't tell me. Kugler started that, right? Like he would never tell me what we were going to talk about. And he just wanted me to like shoot from the hip. And I think I've made it work, but the guys, they think I'm crazy. I finished one with Coach Barthel and he hadn't even changed yet. And I think he wanted to fight me. I was originally waiting for Stoudemire.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, hey, 4:00. I said, I kind of got this little idea I've been working on. And I saw EJ, and I was like, hey, I didn't even tell Steven. I was like, hey, EJ. And he was like, what, when? It's like, come on, man. Like, he's typical EJ. Like, he's mad and competitive at the same time. So I was like, I said, we got a great rapport, man. Let's just see if we can pull this off on the fly and see what happens. And Steven was looking at me like, okay, sounds good. Let's make it happen. And we knocked it out. I just seeing these guys blossom, like Jeremiah Charles, who's never done an interview before. Never.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, hey man, how'd I do? It's like, well, how, like those kinds of things are cool. It keeps me functioning at like a high level, like just being able to pour into kids. And now that I have access to actually watch football and be on the field, like I'm getting the best of both worlds. I clear no offense to you guys, but I miss Westside the most, right? Like that's the thing that I really thought I was going to struggle with, and I have, and I don't see Micah near as much as I want to, but don't think I don't have like 14 or 15 hours logged on that huddle watching prep. So I have to now sleep with my ringer on, which is terrifying. It's a whole new world, man, but I'm enjoying it.
Well, I am offended that you don't miss me the most, but I guess
I still try to talk to you, which hey, Claude, come here, babe.
Is Claude a dog?
No, it's in Puma.
Oh,
is it locked? Hang on, fellas. This is live radio or whatever we do.
Oh, let's go. Why did I think like the AI thing? I was like, is he yelling at like a Google or something?
I'm getting ready to finish this interview.
There's a robot.
I want you to tell these fine folks, hey, listen. So you like this, right?
Yeah, it's cool.
So do you like Coach Benning?
I do.
You do? I'm glad he said that. We're coming a long way, aren't we?
It's a very long way.
He looks like he looks like a hostage, DB.
I love you, buddy. All right, have a good day.
You like
Get to
Coach
class,
DB,
man.
don't you?
I'll see you, buddy.
All right, so I just have a couple questions
Listen,
for you.
He
Go
said,
ahead.
did you hear him? He said a very long way. I love
Yeah.
All right, DB, I got a couple questions and we can let you go because I know you gotta
man,
work.
Come on.
Hey, relax.
Well, Shane's gonna cut off the stream at 10, so
Yeah,
we got places.
Hey, what time is it?
9:57.
Oh, okay. Whatever.
you know Shane ain't gonna let us go past like 10:03. He ain't working that long.
I wish somebody I'm in like these 3 different like chats, and one of them is called the Brain Trust. And the alert, they must have done the alert, but it says the notification is movement in your office, someone in your office. And I'm like, do they have camera? Like, what is going on?
Whoa.
It only took me 4 days to figure out that was my notification for Signal when they post something. I know, right? Like some things won't change.
That's all right. That's why you gotta get that.
I'm as special as when I left you.
I'm glad it hasn't changed you. All right,
I got my own version of an IEP. It's pretty cool.
Yeah?
Yeah. I graduated past the 504. I am officially on their IEP.
Let's go.
Hey.
All right, DB. I'll give you a little runway here. What's the thing that outside of the program we get the most wrong in terms of whether it's process or
easy?
What is it? Yeah, go ahead.
Finances.
Oh, okay.
Easy. We have a lot of conversations on shows across the state where we compare and contrast, and I'm telling you, we don't have any idea what we're talking about.
Okay.
None.
Finances, number one with a bullet.
Number one.
Okay.
Number 2, I'd say if you're looking for something a little more light.
We can do whatever you want.
Is the direct correlation between performance and what's actually taught. So this isn't letting anybody off the hook, but there's a reason these first 3 weeks I probably couldn't pass the test, but they've gone above and beyond understanding situations, end of game situations, end of half situations, just repping it over and over. Red zone defense, red zone offense. Like the intentionality is mind blowing. Like I'm impressed is not the right word because I know I'm supposed to say good things, but I'm always gonna be honest, right? It's like I am blown away. Like, we open every meeting with situations, like every one. Hey, today it's fascinating, and so I'm excited to see the practical application of that.
All right, DB, last one here for me. I'll leave you an open mic here. Obviously, we did the show together for about 3 years because of the
Dang,
time.
is that all?
Yeah, well, you took a little break there for a minute too, but it's about 3 years. It's almost 3 years to the day, actually.
Well, don't forget about
mental
Dish and Ish.
breakdown.
But we did the show together for 3 years, obviously because of the timing of how everything went down with the university. Didn't really get to do a final show, or we didn't even know it was your final show when you were doing it. I just wanted to give you a chance if there's anything you wanted to say to our fine listeners, especially our podcast listeners. Can't ever forget about them.
Oh yeah, I appreciate you giving me the runway, man. Listen, the time was unbelievable. The freedom and the fun. I like, the whole good piece of cheese. There's lots of things that became evident about my personality. Having a platform of going from terrestrial to podcasts, and just the growth, right? Meeting people with different thought processes and personality traits that could bring the best out in me, that would challenge me, make me uncomfortable sometimes. Gosh, it kind of describes Rico in Austin, but
thank you.
It was a total blessing. I think it was a phase that I needed in my life. Bill allowing me the creativity and the freedom to kind of be myself. He knew going in, like, I love sports, but it's not always my passion. And so for him to allow me the creativity and the freedom, Sasha, for just her ability to manage my personality, and to allow me to kind of grow, as you guys could see, like, I changed quite a bit. A lot more yeses, even though they were kind of dirty yeses, which sometimes those aren't always good. Like, as an individual, a dirty yes you can get away with, but as a team, the more dirty yeses you have, the more dysfunctional it is. And I think, to that point, it was a team last year of a lot of dirty yeses. She was sensational, the guidance, and then the relationships that I was allowed to grow and foster along the way. Our listeners are fantastic, super bright. I'll try to pay attention in the Discord. If I ever get good at this job, I think maybe I can get a little more freedom. Coach Rule made some suggestions yesterday about doing weekly stuff with media, and I was like, not a chance. Like, I don't want to oversatiate. I want to get people in small doses. That's kind of when I want to go back to. I used to be that way until 2013, when this light-skinned ding-dong gave me a call about making a job switch. And I kid, because that changed my life. But go back to just investing in young people. But I love the platform that you guys and Hurrdat and the fans. I've gotten more. I don't know if people are just being nice to me, but the whole Mission Radio thing, I appreciate that. But media's tough, man, and it's changed quite a bit, and the way it's perceived has changed quite a bit. And so this was a good time for me, but I am very appreciative of Hurrdat and that fan base.
There you go. That is DB. We obviously
always making me rain on my own parade. You are the proverbial pea in people's cereal guy.
Yeah, ugh. Listen, I just knew how appreciative you were of our listeners and Bill and everybody. I wanted to give you a chance to give a little love.
Bill's one of those guys that I'm gonna actually put on. I have, like, I don't know, it's not sacred or anything, but, like, I can do a pass list. I'm definitely putting Bill on that thing.
There you go. That's DB. We appreciate it. We appreciate the last few years that you got to spend with us. I certainly appreciate it. I wouldn't be sitting in this chair if it weren't for you. So
I'm proud of you, man. You like such a good dude. Like you so good and authentic. Like the raw real version that I got a chance to know and be a huge fan of and have you be able to pour into me. You know, I had a lot of tough stretches behind the scenes, and I think one of the things that I've always appreciated about you was just how authentic you were. Where there are going to be some things, much like this job, right? Like there's some things that he says to me and that are said to me, and the tone in which they're said, where it's like it's probably the hardest thing I've got to get over, the toughest thing I've got to get over. But I worked with a guy for a long time that I consider one of my very best friends that talks to me the exact same way. So that's something that I have definitely learned to deal with. I'm still waiting to do something kind of crazy or be in a mood where you give me the proverbial look, man. listen, man. And I know some sort of venom's coming, but it's always in my best interest, man. So I appreciate you.
yeah, man, definitely appreciate you as well. And you know, just because you changed jobs doesn't mean I stop having your back. So
no. So when you answer the phone, are you still gonna do the hey man, what's up?
hey man, what's up? Yeah, that's my go-to. You know,
all right. When I'm not in trouble.
Not everything can change.
I know, right? I need some consistency. By the way, man, I saw Ave the last couple of times at pressers.
Yeah.
And I think she probably thinks like I gatekeep the players. I don't. Like I trust her. She does a really good job. She's still one of my favorite people.
No, Ave is the best, and you're the best as well.
She's
DP.
awful bright, man. Don't let Rico and Austin, those guys, like dumb her down, man. Like I worry about her.
What did I do?
I do. Austin,
Damon,
I'm still my dude, buddy.
Damon, I'm sorry
Damon.
that I made fun of you so much that you had to take a new job.
Where are you going this week for high school football?
Where am I going?
Yeah.
I will go to Kearney Catholic Ashton Greenwood, so I'm going to go out there, and I'm thinking I'm going to try.
I saw you sit down with Coach. He's pretty cool, isn't he?
Oh yeah, I love Rashawn. That dude's the best.
He's a good dude.
Yeah, and I'm thinking I'm going to try to hit UNK Wayne State tomorrow night. So we'll see if I can get there.
That quietly, that's a big one.
Yeah, Isaiah's probably out for the start, but he'll be back in the early stretch. Hopefully, is what Coach was saying. So hope for the best.
He messaged me last week because I'm just a huge Harris fan, and you tell that guy when you see him, say, man, you almost had DB in tears. Like,
okay.
My man hit me with a heart emoji, and I was like, oh, I want to go back to coaching.
You are coaching. DB, listen, not to keep, putting flowers on you or anything like that, but listen, when I heard Makai yesterday reference you as Coach Benning, my heart fluttered. Like, that was cool. That's awesome.
I had to step out of the room. I was at First. I had some guys were up at First National yesterday morning, and Coach Rule wanted me to go. So, yeah, I left to come here. Came back to Omaha to go to First National. I left, and my man waited for me in my office till I got back to do his press conference. Like, I love him, as you guys know. Like, I was so proud, and I knew the anxiety, and it's hard, man. As somebody that's had to face the fiddler, it's tough, but he's going to be better for it. And the next time he does an interview, you're going to be talking about his growth and maturation. He's exceptionally bright. He's a really good student. He had to learn to forgive himself. And sometimes, especially for men, it's really, really hard. Other people can forgive you a long time before you forgive yourself. And I think him going through that process is part of the maturation that Action Jackson alluded to, that we kind of overlook, but will be good for him in the long haul.
DB, appreciate it. As always, we can't wait to see all the great things you do over at Nebraska. And you tell Coach Rule he still owes me a meal, now more so than ever since he took you away. So
yeah,
I'll be waiting.
You can come down. I didn't want to tell you, but it's like I just know you're one of the guys that has the schedule that may allow you to do so. So
when he's not tennising, DB, that's the only time he has.
I need a buffer. Like, so that's one thing that Ravi can do. He can take all the arrows. You guys saw the message from this morning.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't play, and it's not an act.
Oh, I never. I didn't think it was.
Go Big Red.
I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not a stranger.
You're like, how is that on me?
Why are you talking to me like that? Anyway,
you want to talk about Carlos Alcaraz at the U.S. Open real quick?
No, but I am happy you get a chance to have your guy back. So the best thing about taking this job is I missed his coming back to tennis because I did not want to spend 55 minutes a day talking about Alcaraz.
Listen, we haven't even talked about it yet. I've been so good.
God, do you have the shakes?
I'm chomping at the bit. I can't wait.
You're like sitting in those circular chairs. You're like, hi, my name is Ravi. Hi, Ravi.
Listen, I was so excited. I watched him and Serena play mixed doubles yesterday. That's how excited I was to have Alcaraz back.
Hey, listen, man, rehab isn't just for quitters.
All right, buddy. Have a good one. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, DB.
All right, champ.
That is DB, Director of Player Development, and allegedly got a new job at Nebraska to avoid the listener draft. Allegedly.
He never addressed it. Never addressed it directly.
You know,
Yeah.
so we'll, I know we're over time and Shane's got to quit working. So we'll call that a day. Appreciate DB taking the time to join us. We did. We got a full hour. Look at that.
Yep.
Look at that.
That's all we needed.
That's Austin. I'm Ravi. We'll be back tomorrow. More Hurrdat Sports Live.